everybody. Thank you so much for
Hi.
bearing with us through that switch. I had to get breakfast because I've been up for a little bit, but now I have chicken, so I'm very happy. And
Mm.
I'm even happier that we get to see some 1221 any% by
Oh yeah.
Guanqi, who is an incredible runner. And we get lovely, lovely commentary from another very talented any% runner, B.
Yeah, I'm really good at any percent, by the way. I'm so good. I'm definitely not washed. Uh
I am.
yeah. Well, I'm excited for this. I always love watching Wonky. Very good. Very good runs. Good showcases.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how the the start works, but
Yeah. I mean, I think it's pretty exciting to say that Guanqi has has participated, like I've said about several people, has participated in this event out of an immense amount of kindness. She's on a break from Hollow Knight mostly, becoming a very, very talented Celeste speedrunner. It's really quite impressive. I hope that many of you, after seeing her Hollow Knight gameplay, choose to follow her and follow along with her Celeste journey, which is something that I've been proud to have been doing. But in addition to her talent in Celeste, she, out of the kindness of her heart, was willing to de-rust any% for this event, in honor of Schy. So she was actually the person who, if I'm being honest, broke that news to me via her Discord server, and I will be forever thankful for the way that she was so graceful and so kind to everybody in the community while also being respectful of her own emotions. She really has become a leader in this community in the past few years, and I'm just really grateful for the way that she led me through the situation. Even if she wasn't necessarily like doing it one on one, it was truly important the way in which Guanqi allowed me to handle that loss through her news. So I am really, really grateful. But I'm also really grateful that she's here and running any% because we should all be pretty excited about that.
yeah. What makes this much more emotional is that Shy was running any percent and grinding any% at the time.
Hmm.
So yeah, at least that for me makes it a bit more emotional. I have to deal with, but
Yeah, absolutely.
we'll put on a good showcase. We'll have a good
Yeah,
time. We'll celebrate a bit, and
I'm
let's hope
absolutely sure.
it goes
We
smoothly.
will we will give them a run that would make them proud. And I mean, any% as a category is no joke. It is extremely optimized. Guanqi herself has pretty much worked herself to the bone. Improving
Yeah.
controls, adding new strats, all this stuff. I mean, she has worked so incredibly hard, and been on such a journey as a runner. So it's going to be really exciting to see all the strats, all the little intricacies she's pulled off. And if I'm being honest, this is the first time since the All Skills tournament that I've commentated 1221. So B, you're gonna have to
Oh
help me out a
yeah,
little
no,
bit.
I can definitely pick
Um,
up on some of the
but
1-2-2-1 jank that you
that
mean.
was actually like how I got my start. I actually didn't commentate current patch initially because um I didn't understand it as well as I understood 1221, which is
Oh, fair
ironic
enough.
because now I'm a pretty
That may be on
flagrant
my end,
current patch
Kitch.
loyalist.
Sorry, I just adjusted my mic volume. Should be better. All right, are we ready to go?
Yes, it looks like we'll be getting our countdown soon. Gonki just
Perfect.
adjusted her volume on things. And yeah, so um, I mean the basic deal here is patch 1221 lets us do a few things that were ultimately patched out of the game by Team Cherry in later renditions of Hollow Knight. Specifically, it lets us skip a lot of stuff around Watcher's Spire, doing a major lever skip. There are more lever skips that you do in all skills, but here it's mostly just at Watcher's Spire. But the other thing is you have inventory drops, and then a few other things here and there. You can quick kill boulders, which will happen. But it does allow for a lot of optimizations, and from what I've heard, as somebody who's never played 1.2.2.1, I can't verify, but I've heard it just has a very different feel when you play it.
It's a bit so. It's a bit kind of weight. Like I don't know how to explain it. It's a bit weightier.
I've heard
Um,
heavy. I've heard
heavier.
sluggish
Yeah.
and
It
more.
has a lot. I don't know. Jumps feel. I prefer it obviously, which
Yeah,
is why I run it. But it feels a lot more deliberate and less kind
yeah.
of snappy, which is to me it's a good thing because you can be a bit more. I
Hmm.
feel like you can be a bit more precise, but it ultimately doesn't matter because
Yeah,
the jump arcs, everything
it's
is
really
the
a feel
same. It
type
just
thing.
the speeds and things are a little bit different.
Yeah, people like their responsiveness. It's kind of the same
Mm.
as, in some rhythm games, people will set lag configurations differently
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
because of how they prefer responsiveness to work. And so, really a similar thing here.
Mm.
But yeah, so this is the any percent route. If you know any speedrun route, it's probably this one to at
Mm.
least some degree. We're going to do basically what EXO did in Save Mila, except without the whole saving Mila nonsense. We're just going to get C dash and, be on our merry way. But it is going to go fast because this category is really no joke when it comes to speed and optimization, and Guanqi is certainly
Pretty
a runner who
fast.
can show off all of
Yeah.
that.
Um. Yeah. So that's for anyone that doesn't know. That's like one of the differences in patches is that you can just open up the main menu at the start of the game. And
I
inventory
mean,
drop, avoid that
yeah,
cutscene.
the start of the game. We try for our current patch inventory drops, but they're not free like they are on 1.2.2.1.
Mm.
Um, they
You
are
want your frame perfect inventory
actual.
drops? Well, we
Yeah.
can just press one button and it works.
Hmm.
Love it.
Or be me and try to do them forgetting that I'm not playing randomizer. Um,
Mm. Oh, I love Rando.
oh yes.
Um,
The utmost shoutouts to all of the organizers of the All Majors tournament, as well as to all of the players. That is coming to a close relatively soon, but it has been an extremely, extremely exciting um, tournament to
it's very
follow and
engaging to
really
watch. I
wonderful.
really love
So
watching
I'm hopeful.
like rando tourneys and stuff. It's
Yeah,
a
the
very
random
dynamic
tournament
thing. It's
was
really
how
good.
I got into this community.
Mm.
During Yield COVID times, I would sit and watch matches from the lockout tournament until I watched all of them. So that is how I learned to
Wow.
be a commentator, was by watching every single one. And so for me, commentary was always my dream, and rando commentary was always my dream. And so I was actually able to do it for the first time during the rando tourney. But
Oh.
speaking of tournaments, if you like if you'd like to do a speedrun tournament, Nerf Irelia, who is a very wonderful member of this community and one of our leaderboard mods, is organizing an any percent tournament that will take place in October, and it will include both 1.2.2.1 any percent, like what Guanqi is running, and latest patch any percent. So if you don't want a down patch or you prefer playing on LP, then there will be options for that as well. So the tournament is open to anybody who passes a pretty generous time bar of 1 hour and 10 minutes, which with enough practice and some dedication is pretty universally achievable. So I would highly recommend it. If you're a newer member of the community watching this and looking to get into some speedrunning but not sure how, this would be a really great opportunity to do so.
Yeah, I mean, and also like, it's definitely a very. I just want to reiterate what Harm said. It's an incredibly achievable time. You can
Yeah.
have like upwards of 5 deaths and still get a time like that.
Oh, for
You
sure.
don't
And
need to
also,
worry too much,
if
and it's
you
always great to participate in things
if
like
you
that. It's
feel
great to be
worried
part of
about
the
certain
community.
boss fights, for example, you could very easily achieve a 110 by doing Shade Soul Route or by getting
Hmm.
Nail 1, or even both, depending on how well you play with your equipment.
Yeah. I don't think you should ever underestimate how fun it is to get into a speedrun community via racing. It's
Yeah.
really enjoyable. Some of my highlights have been races.
And I
Um,
mean, even if you decide to not race but do commentary, which for me is sort of where I lie. My passion is in more of a support role, I suppose. I really enjoy organizing. I really enjoy commentating, um, but I think that it's also the tournament will provide a great opportunity to get into commentating and get into those support roles if you don't quite feel ready to speedrun, but you want to learn more about the run. And also just, tournaments, one thing I really love about them is that they cultivate so much collaboration in a community. As JB was talking about in his interview after his run, in Grub Song, Schy and a number of other runners took great efforts to really route and lab a lot of dash movement in Green Path, which was something people had really never charted out before. And, similar things happen in all of these tournaments. And so it is just really wonderful to see how the community pushes itself and brings itself together for these collaborative events.
Yeah, I mean, you can see it in the All Skills tourney that was held like a year and a bit ago. Like
Which
it
is really nice for
absolutely
the community.
it improved the kind of PBs and the times of All
Oh
Skills
yeah,
by so much.
so much, and it was such a push, and it became so exciting and even after the tournament, it led more people because there were so many people with an all skills knowledge base. It was so much easier for people to get into a category that really had been kind of left as a middle ground between any percent and TE for so long.
I
And
just want to
so,
comment on the fact that Gonki got the literal worst Gruzzer room RNG there, with
oh
literally no
really?
Gruzzers in nail
Oh
sight
lord,
whatsoever as she went up, which is always a pain to have.
that is
So you have to
painful.
waste a bit of time hitting that tick above there. The cycles are completely consistent on the ticks, but the Gruzzers are
Yeah.
obviously completely random.
Yeah, and I'll also note that right back there, that quick kill on the boulder is a 1-2-2-1 exclusive. You may have noticed it did not happen in any of the other runs we've seen so far, which have been on later patches. But it is a nice little treat that 1-2-2-1 runners get.
You too could have this little RNG for a few clicks on Steam. It's not very hard, Wink, wink.
But you could also be a part of the current patch meme crew. And
it is true. I do like them quite a lot as well.
yeah.
Yeah. So just going through Green Path here. Very nice. What was I gonna say? Yeah, I know that Gonki at one point was quite a funny thing, was labbing out single fireball, like trying to get single fireball consistent
Oh lord.
in the second one in Green Path. And oh my goodness, let me just say that is the least like kind of showcase or marathon or race
Or
viable strat
anything
ever.
safe.
It is so tight. I cannot
Even,
believe it that
it's not
Gonki
even
was
like
even
it's not
considering
marathon safe or not race
doing
safe.
that.
It's just not safe.
It's just not safe, yeah. I think she gave up because it was just killing too many runs.
NSFG, not safe for Gonki.
Well, that's quite good as a backup because normally
Yeah.
you come in there with three
I mean, if you
three
can
spells of
one
song.
fireball, then that's awesome for you. But consistency is not the name of the game with that. Speaking of
Yeah, it's good
fireballs,
as a
here's
backup.
the VFK quick kill. Just so masterfully executed. Gonki just makes that look like it's something that, she sort of rolls out of bed and does, which, I mean, is to a degree the truth for her. But also, it is a pain to get that quick kill. It is quite tight. And it is the bane of many people learning the category.
You have to. It's a good litmus test for your nail cancels, like your nail and fireball cancels. If you can't do Venture quick kill, at least for me, it means that I need to warm those up somehow.
What are your warm-up stats? I'm interested.
It's just Watcher Knights. They warm up every part of the movement, really. Except for C dashes, but obviously I don't really think there's
What, you don't aggressively crystal dash during the Watcher Knights fight?
Yeah, no. Funnily enough, that is not a strat that I use.
Wow.
Very nice Hornet, by the way. With a 748.
Super nice.
Cloak. It's very good. Very respectable.
Very
That's
lovely.
actually my best split time ever. Is a
Oh, really?
748.
Yeah.
So shout outs, respect.
Very big respect. I mean, if this run leaves you with anything, it should be with immense respect for Gonki. That's really all we ask. But yeah, so she'll be heading down to Get Claw. It is the very, very bog standard VS Cloak Claw opening. the thing is, it's so funny to me to even explain this, right? Because
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever commentated any percent before, and so in every other run I commentate, I think to myself, oh well, it's just kind of like any percent except. But then this one
but
is
now
any
we're
percent,
doing
so I'm
it's
kind of
kind
at
of
a
like
loss
any
of how to
percent,
describe
except
the
it is
route
any percent.
because it just is the quintessential route. And I mean, it is like funny because, you know, everybody to a degree who is an aggressive, let's say, an aggressive casual in Hollow Knight does any percent, quote unquote, because they want the speedrun 2 achievement, you know? And
Yeah.
so even if they do a weaker route, you know, most of the common tutorials are just expanded versions of the any percent route. And so I feel like there's just such a sense of familiarity to what Gwanki's doing, but that also I just don't want that to disregard the amount of technical skill and also just heads up play that has to go on in this run. Like you have to have a real head on your shoulders to get through an any percent
Now
run
we see
properly.
the coolest
Oh wow,
fireball
nice,
skip, the Wii Pogo.
nice
Very,
pogo.
very nice. Where you just slam your head face first into an explosion to get by, which is
Yeah, the
certainly an
French way.
interesting one.
Oh nice,
Very
such
nice
a good flip
to
mantis
Pogo Mantis
pogo.
Pogo there.
Oh yeah, and I forget this is 1-2-2-1, so you get the early control.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that was like the first time where I went and I did school, and then I found out that there was somehow crazy new tech that had been discovered.
Yeah, it was very, very cool. I
The
remember
lesson learned is study less.
study. That's not probably not the message
No,
you
no,
should
and
take
I
from.
want to make it very clear that that's also not what I do. Um, I studied very hard, and I got into my top two choices for university and got to pick. So it works,
Mm.
kids, but you have to have a lot of discipline. Um,
Just to note, with the Mantis early control, if you don't already know, if you don't wait until the saving icon, you don't actually get claw. And I think it's a rite of passage for everyone that does the trick to accidentally do it too early and then not
oh
have claw.
Lord.
Um,
Yeah,
and
I
then your
mean,
run is just pretty
for
much
me
done.
that rite of passage is in ACN, but this is also applicable to any run that fights Grimkin with
Oh, and
you
you have to
quit out
wait.
before the flame displays,
Oh, God.
because you have to wait specifically for that icon to appear in the bottom left corner, or you don't get the flame. So I have had several runs where that has not happened. Um, so yeah, Gwanki's gonna head down and gonna just do what you do in any percent, in that you do the any percent shade skip. Um, we'll have to fight Gruzmother first though, so
Yeah, don't
we'll
forget
see
about the
how the
hardest
cleanup
boss in the
goes.
entire
Oh
game.
my gosh, you're so right. I mean,
Whole
to be
3
fair,
nail
like,
cancels and 6 nail hits. Oh my god.
oh yeah. I
Very
remember
nice.
seeing this run in GDQ, and then the commentator's like, "This is very advanced that they're pogoing on Gruzmother," and um, I was like, "Wow, speedrunning's so cool."
Okay, just
Little did
checking
I
for
know
ceiling
all
geo
the
there.
other stuff you could do. Oh my gosh, it's so weird to see the Gruzzers drop Geo. Alright, that was a bit of bullying by the Gruzzers on that cleanup. Yeah, and the ceiling Geo. But
Mm.
very solid.
Another recent thing that you may not know about actually, because it's not very flashy, is that we've recently discovered RNG patterns where taking 3 hits prior to going into Sly's Hut is faster than taking 2 hits and then going
Oh,
for
I
3
had not heard of
afters.
that. That's really interesting.
Um,
So
yeah, I don't think it works for current patch because the
no,
RNG
I
patterns
doubt
just
it.
don't line up. But
Because what
this
does
is
work
this is
for current
perfect for
patch?
2, so it doesn't matter.
Okay.
That's literally optimal RNG,
Oh, nice.
which is very nice. And are we gonna get any death geo?
Oh yeah, you never forget Death Geo.
Yes, we got one
Yes.
death geo. The run's blessed.
Excellent. So yeah, here Gonki is gonna go do the any percent shade skip. Really quick and easy trick if you want to get into skips in general and you're interested in just figuring out shade skips. This is a really great one to start with.
And it's very nice because it's the only required, like, non-casual thing in the entire run.
Yeah,
That you like, it's the only real quote-unquote skip or exploit or whatever that you
exactly.
need to do any percent. All
Mhm.
the other ones can be skipped or worked around. You know, that's the only one that's completely
Yeah.
necessary because otherwise you have to go fast night. The route's completely different.
Right. No, that was
Um,
lovely walking storage across Blue Lake as well.
oh yeah, single slash. I still don't know how single slash works. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not very good at commentating that, but
Yeah,
it's
no,
fairly
I
cool.
never really understood it because it was such a 1-2-2-1 world thing
Hmm.
that I just was like, all right, they found a new one and
But I
sort of
do know how
progressed.
the triple slash one works, but that's obviously slower and kind of outdated now.
Yeah. So,
All I know is that you dash into a slope and magic happens. Um,
and isn't that what we all want?
that's just Hollow Knight in a nutshell, really.
I'm so tired. You know, you said
You,
those words and you know what I thought? I thought that's my gender. What does that mean?
who knows? Just we'll pretend that we didn't hear it, and we'll come back to it in like 3 years and think,
All
why did I
right.
not remember that? You know?
You got it. You got it.
Just ignore the signs because then they don't matter, forehead.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, so Gwonky doing some lovely dream plots here. That's the thing. I think one of my favorite things about watching runners who have just put in so much practice and so much effort into their craft is watching them move with confidence because that's just something that I don't do because I haven't put in that amount of practice and effort. And
Yeah,
it's just
I know
so
what you mean.
inspiring to
Yeah,
me.
because it comes out in kind of subtle ways
Yeah.
sometimes that you don't really realize like in the moment, but you're like, no, that was just
And I
like
think yeah,
comfort with the
exactly.
game, you know?
It's just something that I've learned as a commentator, I think, through watching so many runners is I think that to me is the true difference between a good runner and a great runner is the way they carry themselves in the video game. Like if you can see that without seeing their face, I think that is just an evidence. And I think that Gwonky was a great friend of Shy's, and I think that what brought them together to a degree was the fact that they both have this incredible drive to really push themselves very hard and to really go for things and optimize and continue to move upward even when there isn't even as much upward space to move.
Yeah.
And
A
it
couple things
really
I
is
want.
inspiring.
Sorry.
Oh, go.
Couple things I want to just say. 303 Dream Nail in a marathon, kind of insane, by the way.
Yeah, for sure.
Um, and the second thing is just like Gonki got the Kling Kling, but unfortunately failed it right at the start. But
Oh, was it
didn't.
the
But
elevator?
I just wanted to not commentate on the failure, but commentate on the recovery was just very well done.
Yeah,
The Great Husk was in a really difficult spot, and the Pogo was very nice.
yeah. No, that's the thing is in a run like any percent, there are so many little things that you don't even necessarily pick up on watching it unless you know the run and know what the strategies are, and that's
Mhm.
why I'm so glad to have you in comms team because I I really am not privy to these things.
I mean, it's one of the most optimized categories, and as
Yeah,
you'll see there, Gonki slightly fumbled hitting Gorgeous Husk to the left, and instead of immediately fireballing like a lot of Euro runners or people that with much experience did, hit it another couple of times so that she could get the double, right?
yeah,
So there are little things you pick up on, but like
mhm,
it's kind of all skills is kind of in a similar situation now as
yeah,
well in terms of optimization,
mhm,
where like you can start picking up on it, but it is the most optimized category, which means
right.
there are a lot more little things to
Yeah,
take
and
into
to
account.
me, that's what I think about when I think about heads up play, and that's something that I really learned about for the first time in the All Skills tournament. But the true ability to excel in these categories now is to be able to play around the fact that you have so many micro optimizations that you can make, and you're not going to make all of them. So when you don't make some, you have to be ready to bounce back with others and to bounce back without necessarily losing tremendous amounts of time for
Mm.
not optimally doing what you were intending to. And so I
I'd
just
like to
think
say,
that, yeah,
sorry, that
say,
Gwanki is also quite. I can think of no words other than Chad, in that you get a free heal on that elevator, and
yeah.
obviously Gwanki is at the level
Oh my
where
gosh,
I don't
you
think
are
she's
so
scared
right.
of Watcher Knights in any way.
No,
So
I don't
soul is
think
more
so
important
either.
than health, pretty much unless you're on like 2 or below.
Yeah,
And God, I want to be there, but I would always heal because I am big.
I mean, I would too. Yeah,
But
and
yeah,
I
that's
mean,
just how optimized you get. Is that you're not really scared of failing anything necessarily. You're scared of the point three
oh,
losses
absolutely.
and the kind of small kind of
And I mean,
time losses and
she sent
getting
she
those
sent her
times.
splits earlier today, where she did a warm up run, which was a 32, of course. And it just it dawned on me seeing 130 completed runs, 828 attempted runs. I mean, that is really incredible. The
And
amount
don't
of
forget that Gronki also is someone who lives by the mantra of practice more than you run,
oh,
which
of
means
course,
that she also that is not her that is not
right.
her commitment. Her commitment is probably triple that at least.
Oh,
Um,
I am most certain, and beyond that, all of the time that she's spent in other categories, learning general skills of the game, the amount of time she's done these segments across different things, it just displays it just displays a true dedication to the game, which is I think something that she has always shared
hmm.
with Schy and
And
is
and look
such
what
an honor.
true dedication
Yeah,
can get you. It can get you a 17 flat Watcher's End, which is
right.
absolutely insane.
Oh yeah. No, that is
No,
a
it was a sub 17 actually, 16:59
16:59.
Watcher's finish.
Oh
What
my
on
goodness
earth, Funky?
gracious.
Oh my god,
Right,
this
and
is
this
a showcase. You don't
no,
need to go so hard.
just this is just Gwonky's opportunity to show us the category, and she is coming out in full force,
Oh my
which
god,
is
yeah.
truly incredible. I mean,
Mhm.
wow. Yeah.
But yeah, Lantern is quite a. It's an. I want to say that like a lot of people, kind of like see Lantern split and they sleep, but
Yeah,
there
people
is
kind of
so
do.
many ways to mess up this split and lose more time than you would ever think.
Oh yeah.
Um,
This is what I've learned from watching folks run any percent way back when, is that it's it seems simple, but it has such potential for frustration, and I think
mm.
that's oftentimes because it's underestimated.
I mean, it's the length of VS, and we all know how hard that is to optimize. So
Right.
it does have. It's a bit less than that, but it is still. There are still some little bits and
Yeah,
pieces.
absolutely.
Oh no,
Oh, that's tough.
that's a nightmare.
Yeah, that was not any fun, but
It's not too bad in the grand scheme of things, but it is annoying.
yeah,
Um,
absolutely. Yeah, Rhino noting all the city splits. You can think you're doing fine,
I
and it's
may have
not
just
just well.
cursed it
And
to be honest. And she's saying there are so many ways that you can like just randomly lose time. Oh, and it just happened.
yeah,
That's
not
what I
actually
mean. You
too
don't
bad.
sleep on city. I think it's not watch nights, but it's still something you need to focus on. But overall, the
I mean, it's
pace
called
is
City of Tears
incredible.
for a reason. What do you think it gives you?
The pain, the pain. Yeah, so Gonki is pretty okay on Geo here. She'll probably fireball these two here, and that'll be it.
It's exactly like a mind
Unfortunate
reader.
that the fireball ran out before it hit the last one. That's
Yeah.
quite far back. But then you don't kill these guys. We used to kill these guys, but until we realized that we were stupid and we could just kill them in the regular city split,
Oh, that would make sense.
and it's faster because
Yeah.
you have soul left over. Sorry, no, because it's easier to hit from the left because you've got the big guy. Very nice impossible jump. Also airwalk, double dash earlier. I did not forgot to comment on that, but that's to safeguard against one of the G Husk RNGs.
Makes sense.
Because if it will always be either below you as you do the second airwalk dash, or it will be to the right like it was there. And a bit of firebell, so you avoid the stag cutscene.
Nice. All right, so up into I think watching Peach is Peach. Ah yes, the peach split, in which we stopped
I
a run
love watching
to
Peaches,
peach.
yes.
I love peaches. God,
Me
I could go
too. My
ape.
family doesn't like peaches, so I don't ever
Oh,
get any.
I'm quite sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's depressing. But yeah,
Crystal
Peaks
Peak
is
sounds like a
very cool.
bad sparkling water flavor.
Universally heralded as is at least in top 3 splits of every single 80% runner I've ever talked to. So
Yeah. No, and that's what I was trying to say before I went all Miss Malaprop on everybody. Is that Crystal Peak is one of my favorite things to watch top runners do because it is a split that is incredibly based on that practice and intuition, and it is really lovely to see it moved through with such it's kind of like a dance at a point because of the cycles and the way you move rather rhythmically with everything. So I'm very excited to see Gonki move in this way. And
oh, there's another recent discovery. That
oh yeah,
little wiggle instead of the
oh,
look down saves about 0.2, 0.3
very nice.
on the gate in the dark room.
Nice Pogax.
Very nice Pogax.
I love this room. Wee.
And God
Nice.
Pixel,
It's a
very
God
nice.
Pixel. Very good.
And there's 2 ways to do that side of the room. You can either intentionally damage tank, which loses about, I don't know, half a second-ish, I think.
Yeah.
No, less than that, probably, but still loses a bit of time to walk.
Any
Gonki did,
percent
which is
noises.
you do a trans dash on the left wall, and you can narrowly avoid the
Which
spiky guy.
you don't lose half a second, and you say trans rights. I mean, I'm really not seeing the downside.
And yeah, but it's really difficult. It's the problem.
Well, here's the thing: saying trans rights, people don't always make it easy on you, but you still should. So.
It's true, but I will keep doing my baby damage tank strats because I'm scared.
And that's acceptable.
And here's the part that looks really impressive until you learn it yourself and you realize that, yes, the cycles do just line up like that. Very nice.
Really nice.
All I know is that this is an incredible split time because I know for a fact that I think, like, at least I remember in Gwonki's heyday that a low 2x a low 22 2x kind of C-heart end was like very much good enough for a kind of like 32 kind of 20 30 even a 1x
T2XD her pickup was really nice.
again.
Yeah, looking at her splits from her practice run, it seems right on par with what she did this morning. So I mean, it is a wow. And I mean, no matter how this rest of the run goes, I just think that it has been such a treat to just see all of this and all of the results of the dedication showcased in such a manner. So I hope for the best with Umu. You never know.
Oh yeah, the 90% hasn't really started yet.
Yeah.
This is just all quite standard, and then you get to Umu and you get to see whether or not the run goes well.
Yeah.
You can just lose 10 seconds, 15 seconds for free, and there's nothing you can really do about it.
Oh yeah. So
but let's hope that doesn't happen here.
let's get some blessings for Miss Gwonki here. And
so that the jellyfish does not ruin our day.
Yes. We're trying to have a nice day, so please.
Umu, please respect that.
Mm-hmm.
That little like kind of jumpiness is just to set up the dream nail perfectly, so that you can get 2 new dream nails on Umu at the start. But you can just time it instead of doing the fancy little footwork. But...
Any percent Umu also an exercise in surgical precision.
Yes, definitely.
Even if you get the best RNG, the execution is still not a joke. Which you would think that a boss that's more cutscene than boss would be pretty chill, and yet
it's a knowledge check, is what Umu is. You need to know. It's like practicing it all the time and like knowing exactly what to do in every single different RNG pattern, every single different
That
situation.
is a really good way of putting it. I like that a lot.
Very
Oh,
unfortunate. So there are different ways to do the Umu damage pattern, right? Different like nail hits, nail cancels, right? And we just say them in terms of the nails that you do, and then the fireballs are assumed between the nails, right? So that pattern there was, so at the start you saw a 2-3-1 and 2-2-2, 2-3-1, and 3-2-1 are all very similar. They
you've
kind of
lost
do the
me a
same
bit,
thing.
but I'm respecting it.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
But the
great.
one that Guangi did at the end there, which is why the 2 cycle failed, is the 3-3-3, and it was a smart move to do, but it's really tight because you only get one, like you get one less nail cancel, which is why
Ah,
it's so fast. So it can be done, but it's much tighter, and it's only like when the RNG really needs it.
yes, that makes sense.
No sub,
Wow,
it was 1-3-2 on first cycle.
that is
Uh,
indeed rough.
it is quite rough.
Give Gonky some love, though.
Give Guangi some love.
Yeah, I mean, really.
But yeah, 32 isn't dead. You just have to play like an absolute maniac right now.
I mean, either way, still seeing a low or mid 33 in a marathon setting like this
Oh
is
yeah,
unbelievable.
insane. Very few people can. I think Gronky is probably the most consistent. I don't know exactly what best consistency is like, but
Yeah,
Gronky seems to be the most consistent any percent runner I have ever seen in her heyday.
yeah,
And I assume that is carried over now because you don't really lose things; you just get a bit rusty.
right. I mean, considering a 32 in a practice run this morning,
Exactly.
I don't really think. But no, I'm very excited to see this part of the run. QG through Hera, long heralded as a extremely difficult set of splits. But I'm a QGA enjoyer, so
Mhm.
always fun.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so easy to enjoy it before you have to do it yourself.
Well, yeah, we don't.
No, it's very fun to watch. It's some of the coolest movement. I really like QG. I currently run Deep Nest route because I used to run Current Patch Spore. And
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah.
learning QG on the side, so I know all the
Mhm.
movement and stuff. But it's just QGA at the moment. But I know all the movement in the actual split.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, they're just getting clipped by the
yeah, that was tough.
geometry.
First try QGA, like it's absolutely nothing. You'd love to see it. Um, and go through this Petra arena.
See? Oh, going for
I
the
do
rhino.
wish that
Yes, very nice.
1221 Petra HP was a thing on current patch. That was just
Oh,
rude,
yeah.
Team Cherry.
Yeah, all skills runners are crying right now.
Oh yeah.
But very nice. That's the more difficult. There are a couple of ways to do that consistently. That the Petra arena. That's the more difficult one. Call it Rhino Petras because it was discovered. It was. I don't know whether it was discovered or popular. I don't know, but it's linked
Yeah,
to Rhino
Ron is in
Feeder,
chat,
who I
so he
think is
can
in chat
probably
right now.
attest.
And
But I'm so used to seeing Cyclone in that room. My all skills brain is coming back to me in full force.
Mm.
So yeah, down into Deep Nest here. Just going down and around, kind of nice in the light overall. Because
Mhm.
there's much to deal with.
Labbed, yeah, probably is a better word for the Petra arena. Yeah, it was labbed by Rhino, but there is an easier way, which is just to cling onto the wall instead of just jumping and fireballing. Which is
Attachment.
what I do
Easy.
because I'm baby. But yeah, a few like little movement mistakes, probably from nerves and bench, but overall a very good
Yeah.
split.
Oh, is she saying that she lost 6 seconds in bench?
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. But still a very good showcase.
I
Like
mean,
nothing major went wrong. It was just little bits of movement, stuff like that, landing on edges, things like that. Definitely nerves.
Yeah, and
And
that's
now
the
we
thing.
see Den, which is the coolest part of any percent, but also the one that you are nervous for the most.
Oh
Because it's a
yeah.
very cool thing when you get it right. Like when you practice this split, it feels very cool. But it's always at the end of the run. It's very nerve-wracking. There's many ways you can mess it up, especially on low HP. So, and that little up slash there, the spider will turn around if you up slash it. So if you up slash there, you get a free hit of soul, and it turns around, so you can see dash and saves a bit of time.
Now that's spicy.
Unfortunate.
I hate that spider.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice.
Very respectable,
Gets it
Dan.
through.
Didn't save the grub because it's slower.
Yes. You do hate to see it, but you have to respect it for the time save in this case.
Indeed.
Yeah. And that's the thing, once again, with the confidence, is just being able to go through and say, okay, I'm gonna be on 1 HP. Through
Yeah.
these tanks. And just...
Honestly, 3 HP and above in Den, you kind of just like, you know the things that horses wear, the blinders, where they can only see straight ahead. You kind of do that to yourself and your mental. You just go, right, I'm not going to worry about my HP until I take a hit, and then I'll have to worry about my HP. And that normally means doing just losing a few seconds waiting for the devout instead of damage tanking it. But it does depend on how scared you are. And here we'll be getting 2 hits of soul for another firebell. You end up with 2 at the end of the proper damage devout damage tank, and you get 2 there.
Very nice. Yep. And so we're gonna be closing out in short order, which is quite exciting. Has really been a very wonderful run.
Oh, definitely.
I'm glad to see all of the support. I hope for many Hollow Ds in the THK fight. And for good RNG, not too many parries.
Yes, not too many parries. Shout out to a practice THK I had yesterday where I had 7 parries within 10 attacks. It was quite
Oh
close.
my goodness gracious, that is important.
One thing that is quite nice about any percent is that before and after every kind of boss fight is kind of like a quite chill section where you can kind of like,
decompress.
like it's a very muscle memory section beforehand, like things like Scream and like the first part of Lantern and things like that, before and after. I guess City doesn't count, but I always feel like you can let the adrenaline go. Oh, have we got an infinite load?
Oh my goodness.
Uh-oh. Oh no.
Oh no.
It's just a showcase, Gonky, so I guess if you want to pause the timer and then sort this out and then come back. Yeah.
Oh, jinkies.
God, that would be rough. It's just rough.
It's
I mean,
so,
the fact that it's a showcase means that it's not as big of a deal, but it's always terrible.
that's something else to showcase. I like Fabio's attitude.
Welcome to the Team Cherry Jank showcase featuring THK Infinite Low.
Oh my god.
Although I guess have we got glitched runs coming up?
Yes, we have.
They're probably going to be better at that. But here's a
Who
taster.
can win? Most infinite load. Go, go. We're gonna have a big competition from now on. The nature of this entire marathon has changed. I can hear the 1.5 runners typing.
I've actually never got an infinite load before. Turns out, been very lucky. It happens a lot on 1.432, not 1.5. They kind of helped. They helped quite a lot. But yeah, 1.4 absolute plague of the infinite loads.
Yeah.
If you ran it consistently, you'd pretty much be guaranteed to get one at some point.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, let's give Gonki some love as well.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate, but it does happen. What's with infinite loads and HKC streams? I don't know, Flappy. Alright, so I think we will unpause the timer when we get to the load transition.
Very nice.
Or right now, as we load in. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Oh, that is annoying.
Because when you infinite, so the check to, so it automatically puts you on the THK bench, but the check for it is after you've gone through the transition. So, or is it during? I don't know. Either way, it doesn't get checked by the infinite load.
That's quite annoying.
So, it's just very it's a complete run killer.
Yeah.
You'd lose like 15 seconds if it benched you in the correct place if you did it correctly.
Of course, it wouldn't.
But it's just too much.
Because why would it have that kind of respect for you, really?
Yeah, no. Why would it have that kind of respect? No, it just says no. Screw you, RNG. Go F yourself.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's alright though.
Yep.
We're gonna see this run as it would be without an infinite load, and we're gonna appreciate it that way.
Exactly.
Me too, Gonki. I think pause should be allowed in the case of THK infinite load. However, it's very difficult to moderate and verify, so I understand why it's not.
Yeah. No, I mean, I can't imagine how crushing that must be, especially if you're on a very good pace.
I've never had it on pace, and I never hope to.
Yeah. Well, I would never wish it on anyone.
Okay. We should see an unpause here.
All right.
And there we go.
Okay, there we go. Now
so
for
guys, was it me or did I just black out for like a minute and a half? What happened? Okay, we're back to the run. Let's get some holidays in chat. It's always a pleasure to watch.
I mean, that was a really great den from Gonki.
Yeah, just phenomenal den.
And I mean, as you were saying, you know, a lot of muscle memory into the THK fight, which is somewhat relaxing. But now we just have to hope for no parries or anything. I mean, there will always be some, but few as possible.
Very nice number of. You're at least getting a few dashes here, which is quite nice. And that's unfortunate. The corner infection burst is really annoying.
Yeah.
You either tank a damage hit, which I think is what Pest does, or you just do that, which is you do 3 pogos. Also a few parries there, quite annoying. It's always very nice watching a really top level 90% runner do THK, because it almost feels like they predict THK's attacks before they happen, but it's just because they have practiced their responses to every single scenario so much that they can pretty much just do it on muscle memory. Very nice skill.
And once again, it's just that heads up play. It's just that ability to maneuver around the different situations presented to you because you've seen them all before.
And we're getting a 32.
Gonki said almost in the chat. I bet you it's like
almost.
Low.
Oh, okay. I thought it was gonna be like a 58 or something, but
yeah, that was so close. I mean, really.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be like an 03 or something. Yeah. Very nice though. Very nice.
Right on time, V.
Insane.
That was insane for a marathon run, especially. I mean, you have to consider doing all those different things. I mean, with a 3
and also the lack of warm up,
especially.
Right? You know? Very, very, very nice
A
THK fight
true
as well.
a
Like
true show
very
of
few mistakes. All the time loss was from the kind of RNG patterns. Everything was played pretty much perfectly, at least from what I could see. Though I am not. I am THK is probably my weakest aspect, so I'm not the authority on that. But
yeah.
very incredible. Um,
No, really, really, really wonderful. And it looks like Wonky is willing to interview, so we'll have her in.
oh, perfect.
So let's drag her in here. Hi, Wonky,
Hi,
GG's.
Gonki.
Hello. Is my
That was a
Yeah,
really
everything's good.
wonderful run. It was such a treat to watch. So thank you, really.
yeah.
God, it's just so classic that you infinite load there. Oh my
Yeah,
god,
that was
it's
bonkers.
just like
Yeah, I've only
blown away.
gotten one infinite load ever before,
Hi,
like in an
Wonky,
actual
GG's.
run, and it was on my first 32 4x base.
That was a really
Luckily that was like extremely overdue for a PB. And I PB'd like the next day and got a way better
Oh.
time than that was gonna be. So I wasn't actually that frustrated about it because I knew I was gonna get it again.
Wow.
But yeah. Overall, very happy with that run. Okay, so I'm upset about the Umu, but only because I did everything right, and then I was really nervous and I mashed the last fireball in
Oh
the 3-3.
no.
Yeah,
Everything was
yeah.
good, like until the last, very last fireball was good, and I just mashed and got a bad, like unfortunate timing with the mash,
It's
and it
just
just
so
came out.
yeah, it's just so tight on 333 on 3-3 though. I've never done it before. I don't
Yeah,
understand how
3-3
you
is
can do that.
extremely underrated though. It's so good. It's actually such a
Mm.
good cycle. Like it saves so many things,
Well,
and you don't have to
I
worry
saw
about
why
middle
you
and
did
move.
it because it's
Yeah,
like
it
Umu
was
was
really
going to
close
be
to the middle. It
bonked
was
out the
awkward.
platform. Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that though, it like started off really bad. That run was like terrible at the start. I lost like 10 seconds in the first two splits. Um,
And
and
then
then I
you
had like a 748 Mothman Cloak, which in the grand scheme of things is good. I wasn't upset about that for the marathon, but I can definitely do better on average.
yeah.
Um, Claw was perfect.
Mhm.
Girl's Mother was it was I don't what happened there. I something failed
I
in Girl's Mother. I
don't
don't remember what
remember
it was.
anything specifically
Here, I
happening.
think the cleanup
Oh,
was
you got
just.
hit by the
Like
Jennifer.
Jennifer,
I remember
that's what
Oh,
it was.
right,
Yeah.
right, right.
Oh, and then the cleanup just annihilated me. It was
Yeah,
tragic.
that was just tough. I just felt
That
like
might
we were
have been the
getting
worst
bullied.
cleanup I've had in like the last 6 months. I have never seen anything that
I've
awful.
never seen a group of Gruzzers go in opposite directions so far.
Okay, so it was partly my fault. I'm gonna get a bit like over detailed here, but I picked up half the geo and then went to the ceiling to grab the geo, but I should have picked up all of it so I knew how much was on the floor. Because there was actually no geo in the ceiling. I just got really lucky or something. But I got 50 total. There was no geo in the ceiling, but I kept trying to get it, and I have like a nail buffer set up for the Gruzmother cleanup, so I didn't get to do it because I was busy trying to collect
Oh, I
ceiling
see.
geo that wasn't there. And
Busy
that's why it went
performing
so
household
bad.
chores.
Today I learned there's a nail buffer setup for Grosmother, and I need to learn it
It's
because
really
I
good,
just
yeah.
time it. But yeah,
Um, but yeah.
given how much practice you've done, very, very good run.
Other than that, everything up to Watcher Nights was good. The Lantern had the sad mistake. C Dash was
Mhm.
a 157. That was incredible. C Dash was insane.
I think I
Yeah,
Um,
that
comms cursed
was
you with that
amazing.
lantern's mistake, by the way, because
Yeah.
I was just
no,
talking about
I heard
how
you. I had
Telling
the
me
comms
like,
yeah.
on. I had the comms on for the run.
oh
Oh wow,
really?
yeah.
Yeah, so I could hear you guys talking in the background. Other than that, everything was pretty solid. THK was actually kind of disgusting. I'm surprised it was that good.
Mhm.
And oh, trap bench, obviously. I was so nervous. Oh my gosh. I was
Mhm.
like, no way I get 232 runs in a row, right? Like, surely.
Yeah.
And then I started just like choking everything, and it was still 32able after Umu. But
Oh wow.
yeah, it was
That peaks was insane, by the way.
yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
Like,
for
really proud of
sure.
that.
I mean, I'm sure you heard me say like, "Oh, it's always such a treat to watch top runners go through
Yeah.
peak," and then you just delivered so hard. Is
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, that was a really fun run.
mm,
Yeah, so I had been on stream recently talking about how hard it is to derust Celeste. It is really difficult because every single room has something you have to remember.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of it is just like muscle memory. And if you don't play for a while, you start to rust on the muscle memory. And so like you have to derust literally every room in the game if you want to derust that game. Like you don't
Oh
play for a
lord.
day and it's just like go back and practice everything again. Um HK, I was talking about how easy it is to derest HK. It's actually very easy, or at least for me. I was saying I could probably get a 32 if I played for 3 days. after
Wow.
coming back, and then I did exactly that in,
Because like
in warm
you've
up.
got a lot of like focal points in HK, less so than like every
Yeah,
run is like a muscle memory thing. As long as you can
yeah,
buffer dashes correctly, you really don't have a problem in most
yeah.
runs.
That's a big thing. Like
Yeah.
honestly, I just practice like Watcher Nights a ton, and then I remember how to do everything. Um,
Mm. I mean, I was saying that earlier. That's kind of my D-Rust thing. Is just watching nights
Yeah.
for an hour or so, and then you're kind of back to form.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Really happy with that. Fireborn Bop. That's a world record with the 3 cycle. So,
Oh wow.
Yeah, I was gonna say like a
I beat Fireborn's
3303
world
with a
record.
3 cycle, like, sheesh.
But
Oh.
yeah, very
Mm.
very happy with that. I'm really glad you guys invited me to or
I'm
allowed
very
me
Well,
glad
to.
to
we're
commentate as
so
well,
glad, and,
Leon.
and we're ludicrously excited. So Gwonky's going to be commentating True Ending with Rhino. So
Mm.
this is not the end of her. If you want to see her explain some of the many cool things that happen in top level 1221 runs of this game, then you will absolutely have that opportunity.
Yeah, I'm very excited for that. One thing I just want to talk about Shy for a minute, since it
Yes,
is a Shy
please.
event. So a lot of people know that Shy was one of my closest friends. Shy actually joined the community by they saw like the Fireborn video that was like my impossible any percent mod that I created, and there was like a link to my Discord in the description, and so they joined my Discord and like started to speed run it with me, and it was just like a random person who joined my server, and I was like, oh, who's this? And we basically I was like, why are they so good? They beat it first play through in like 5 hours, I think, and the second fastest that I like known that I had seen was Axe beat it in like 9 hours. So and Axe is insane. Like I
Mm.
watched the whole thing. He played really well. So I was like, how did Shy beat it first try in 5 hours? And then they speed ran it like the next day in 2. So
Wow.
and yeah, so I've pretty much known Shy for like the last, I want to say, I guess since they joined the community, like a year and a half or so. But um, I had a lot of good memories with them. Especially, they were here for almost like a large amount of my PBs. Like I was watching some of my old PBs, or like the ends of them, because we were watching like pop offs with a couple of friends, and every time I clicked on a PB, Shy was in chat. Um, like talking, so that made me really happy. Like I had a probably my best memory with Shy was when they got their first 205. Me and Kalaski and Shy, who are all really good friends and love to run Path of Pain together. Um, we were all in voice call, and Shy got the first 205. Like not like they weren't sure if it was a 205 at the end. Then they popped off so hard because it was like a mid 205, like it wasn't even close. Um, but yeah, that was probably my favorite memory with them. I'm really glad that you guys let me participate in this.
No, it's a
For
pleasure.
sharing. It's really lovely
Yeah.
to hear. And it's
My favorite memory of Shy is when they flipping rickrolled me. Honestly, no, they DM me once, like, and they were just like, "Yo, I got a really personal question to ask." And like, normally when that's asked of me, that's just about like trans stuff, and I'm happy to answer. And I'm like, okay, cool, yeah, I'm down. And they just send, "Do you?" and then a spoiler thing, and I click it, and it says like Rick Astley, and I lost my mind, like. It was just
wow.
it's not a funny joke, but it was so out of the blue that it just like absolutely ruined me.
I've
Yeah.
never heard of Shy doing that. Is the best
No,
part.
no, 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 legit,
Yeah.
I've
legit.
never
I'll
seen
send
them do
I
that to
have a I
anyone.
have I have the screenshot.
I feel
Um
like you've got to
but
edit it,
so
put
stupid.
never gonna
And
give
they
you
were
up
always
as
kind of
soon as you unspoiler it.
yeah. They were always kind of quite funny, and they loved hanging out on my stream and loved talking game development with me. That was one of the things we talked about a lot. So I'll miss them, and I think of them every time I open up Unity. So yeah.
Yeah. Closing statement for me. Proposition I just thought of, partly because I don't see why like it wouldn't exist other than for purism reasons. But like pausing when we get an infinite load in actual runs would be a really
Oh,
nice quality
yeah.
of life thing, since like it can't possibly go wrong and the timer changes
Mhm.
color.
And then it
As
just
long as
doesn't
you
really ruin your day.
unpause during the transition, you
Yeah,
can actually get
exactly.
the exact time that you would have
And fix your soul. My soul was one more than it should have been right there. Going into THK, so I actually magically created one singular hit of soul.
Oof.
I'm a cheater, but
Cheating in a cheating in a
I'm
showcase. How
preparing.
could
I'm
you?
preparing my
Yeah.
my YouTube debut with an expose.
I'm like a Metal Gear runner.
Yeah,
Oh god.
it was
Cancel,
premeditated. You
cancel.
planned for a month to have an extra hit of soul.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you guys for having me. I appreciate
Of
it. And I'll
course.
see you
Thank you.
guys stream again in like 2 hours or so.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you to B as well for the lovely commentary.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. It was a pleasure. I really wanted
course.
to. I was so for context, I was trying to practice and run Save Miler for this tourney, but I couldn't do it emotionally. So I decided to come instead, and Herm was very good with that.
And it was great to have you. So
Shout
it
out to
worked
you, Herm,
perfectly.
for organizing this whole thing because I can
Thank
see how
you.
much effort and time you're putting into it, and I think the community and everyone really, really appreciates you for it.
Thank
Yeah,
you so
I
much.
gotta say thank you as well for just organizing this. This is really cool. It's a lot of
It's
effort.
really, really cool.
Shout outs to Restreamers as well.
Yeah, huge shout outs to
It's good.
Restreamers. And thank you, Wonky.
And thanks for the comms. B, your comms were so good. Oh my god.
Yeah,
I
beautiful.
actually internally popped off when you mentioned the Gorgeous Husk backup that I did because
Yeah,
I did not think anyone would notice that, but that's one of the
no,
things I tell
that was
The
people
knowledge
it's,
when they're
I learn it too. Yeah, it's so
yeah.
important. It's
It's
just so
so
much
good.
faster to just like
Yeah.
take that small time loss of the 2 nail hits to get the double. It's so much.
Yeah.
So
And then you
much
swap to 3/ instead of 4/. That's the
Yeah.
finisher of that. But yeah.
Oh, I didn't notice that. Oh, yeah, no, I need to do that too because I still do 4/, which obviously is irrelevant. Like you don't.
Yeah, you only need
damage
3.
roll.
But
It's
yeah,
perfect.
your
All right.
comms were honestly like really amazing. There were so many things where I just did something and I was like, okay, cool. And then you mentioned it. I was like, really? Like you noticed that?
Yeah, no. Details
I'm
oriented,
eager
very
to
smart.
become
If
head
only I could
commentator at any
implement
percent
them into my
tournament.
own runs, but we'll ignore that.
Yeah. Very very good comms. And thank you everyone.
Of
I'll
course.
see you later.
See you around. I'll be watching the event, but I don't have anything coming up. I'm very excited for the True Ending run. Actually, it's a very good category to watch. Yeah, a lot of boss fights. Very cool. All right.
All right,
Good
thank you.
luck,
We'll be right back.
Blossom.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Thank you for bearing with us once more. We are really happy to present a glitched showcase by Blossom. They're first going to be running Elderbug all glitches for us, and then they're going to be running true ending all glitches, specifically a route that Schy preferred when they ran the category. So I am here to observe and ooh and ah, but joining me on the mic is a familiar face with much more expertise, that of May.
Hey, yeah. Yeah, so this run will very much be building off of the Milo All Glitches run you saw earlier, where it does the main menu storage at the start, but then makes much more full use of what that allows you to do and does several other glitches, and we end up delivering the flower to Elderbug in a shockingly fast time. It's really cool seeing how the categories developed. It was about 30% slower than it used to be. Sorry, 30% faster than it used to be over the last 6 months or so.
Oh
So
wow.
that should, yeah, like just all the new developments that the All Glitch is runner have found and managed to incorporate into a ton of categories. I know Blossom really likes the shorter All Glitches memes.
Yeah, so it would be very lovely to see both of these runs. Blossom, as May had mentioned in her Milo % All Glitches run, Blossom has been a true leader in the All Glitches community, especially together with Schy. The two of them are really responsible for a lot of the proliferation of these categories. And Blossom, of course, being a very dear friend of Shy's. Did I she her Blossom? I think I was trying to refer to May, but yes, Blossom uses they them pronouns. I apologize if I did she her Blossom. The two of them obviously were very important in the AG scene that has developed to a great degree. And Blossom has specifically chosen to run routes that Schy preferred, and so they've prepared specific routes for us, and I'm very excited to see them in honor of Schy.
Yeah, and Blossom's put a lot of work into derusting these
Yeah,
and
really.
learnt like
Almost
some
every
of these
day.
routes they haven't ran in, 6+ months because of new developments and stuff. So huge shout outs to Blossom.
Yeah, really.
Do we want to get them underway and then we can do some more of the general intro and stuff as we're going, or
Yes.
Yep.
We're working on a countdown and we'll be getting underway soon, but it looks like Blossom is going to be. They're the first of our runners that will be using a custom night skin that was developed by Griffs and Dragon Nix. I believe that's the skin they'll be using. And I think that they've also stated that they're going to put in Weaver Song because that was something that was very important to their friendship with Schy and also Shy's favorite charm. So that will be exciting to see. But obviously Blossom has to get into the game first.
Yep, and a very quick main menu storage there from Blossom as well. And that main menu storage is done before the timer starts. It used to be done like you used to have to make a go home save, then quit out, then you would make the do the main menu storage and load into dirt mode. So that's just another change that's been sort of done in the last 6 months or so. And then getting the early control and coming across King's Pass.
Is this super early control you were talking about in your run summit?
I think that one was just regular early control.
Oh.
So the difference is that one you charge the nail art once you load into the scene and then release it straight away, whereas the super early control is charging and releasing the nail art so that the nail art finishes once the scene has loaded in, so it's like 2 to 4 seconds faster. Just grabbing a geo rock there, you might notice that the geo didn't disappear, and that's just a slight quirk of having a God Home save file in the overworld. So geo doesn't actually disappear, but you do collect it. So we, from that 15 geo rock, get 30 geo there, and that's just to get a map, since we don't start with one on patches after about 1028.
Very nice.
We've just got some movement here. So while this is going on, I just wanted to pass on a message from Blossom. They just wanted to give a huge shout out to Dwarfroot and his modding community, which is primarily Dandy, Ruti or Rati, Ruttie, Malhema, and a few others for putting together the custom night version that works on this patch. They've been a huge backbone of the modding community in general as well, so huge shout outs to them and the tireless work they do behind the scenes.
Yes. That is really kind of Blossom, and it should definitely be acknowledged. The modding in this community, which is certainly something which I was a major part of, is just so incredible, and it's just such a team of so many selfless people who make a game experiences so much better for massive swaths of our community. And so the thanks are well deserved for those folks. I hope they get passed along.
Yeah, definitely. And that sea dash across Blue Lake is so nice.
Yeah.
And just circling back to the modding somewhat, example of the work that the modding community has done, and something Schy was very heavily involved with, was the Steady Body Random Charm Order tournament.
Yeah.
Schy was working with, I believe, Aprilamat for like 4 hours before the first match, just getting everything working perfectly, and that sort of just dedication to holding events is just such a huge backbone of the community, because without people to organize things don't happen, and there's so much that goes on behind the scenes to make everything work smoothly. And so what we did there was a interaction storage with the Grey Mourner to go through the Dream Gate and not get the flower until after the check that would normally break the flower during the Dream Gate is done. And that just
Wow.
lets us walk back to our Dream Gate without...
It was great.
Yeah, it's a really strange little glitch, but it saves a ton of time, obviously. And it's just an example of how powerful Quick Map is.
Oh, for sure.
And
yeah, was Enki noticing the Path of Pain shaped spells? Those are all thanks to Nyx, who put in a great deal of effort into making those spells relevant, which they change based on whether they're void spells or not. I believe they are more related to Shy's avatar on the personal side if they aren't void spells, and then more Path of Pain related as void spells, but it is very lovely. So now we're going to see, I believe it's the less clip route of true ending all glitches, which is Shy's favorite route.
So this was before Dreamer dupes were a thing, so it's getting Monomon with no clip and then yes clip to the other two Dreamers. It's a really cool hybrid route where you're doing a whole mix of, NMG movement, no clip movement, and things like interaction storage, bench storage, transition storage, and then obviously
yes
main menu
clip
storage.
just not no clip?
Yeah, it's just not having no clip. It's just colloquially referred to as yes clip.
I like that.
But yeah, it's a really cool run. When it was first discovered, Schy, obviously, and a lot of other people were really big fans of it just because of how much of a variety of things were involved in it. And it's also a very comfy length at around 10 to 12 minutes.
Yeah.
And we're getting a countdown now for the trending all glitches.
Right.
And this will do that other form of main menu storage I was talking about.
Ah,
The
okay.
reasoning being is we want to get no clip and we want to equip charms. So you do both of those from the God Home bench.
Makes sense. And can you explain just what no clip is exactly?
Yep, so no clip is just removing your collision with things like walls. So terrain doesn't stop you at all. Without invulnerability, though, from Dreamgate, you're still hit by enemies. And then there's interactions with the floor to try and get something like airwalk and a like trying to refresh the dashes and stuff.
Ah, okay.
Because you can still interact with the ground in that way, it just won't stop you from going up or down or through walls. So it's a little precarious because if you do burn your dash and nail arts or whatever, you can just fall off into the void
Yes.
forever. So a
And
little
why
scary
is
for
it
a
called
marathon.
no clip? Because to me, it has always seemed like you are clipping.
Really, that mainly comes down to that's just what it's always been referred to
Huh.
historically in like games and stuff.
Interesting.
And I think it just means, clip is similar, to do with collision. Sylvian chat pointing that out.
Wow.
But
The great
I'm
mind.
sure if it was found by the Hollow Knight community, especially sometime in the last, 6-8 months or something, it would have been called something much funnier
I'm
and
sure.
maybe a little less related.
Yes.
But
Blossom
they're stuck
truly
with no
so
clip.
gamer.
True.
And I love the Schy weavers here. They're truly adorable. Blossom worked this specially into their build, just so they could accompany the knight on their run.
And so something you might have just noticed there is that because we have Vismas, Acid still will stop our downwards movement, so it's really nice for a couple of runes. And then saving the grub because it's Blossom.
Of course.
And
As
then
Blossom
placing a
said
Dream
earlier,
Gate
the
there.
best grub is all of them.
True. Blossom is a huge grub enjoyer, so I'm not surprised to see them doing that. And now we're going to get our first Reno. Doing a slight safety strategy here to avoid having to avoid aggroing Umu, otherwise, depending on RNG, you can get knocked out of the Stream Nail here, which is obviously not really marathon viable because you're in for a very bad time if you do get hit out of that.
Yes.
And to Pimpus in chat, asking how you hold a nail art during the C-dash. It's to do with charging it during the load, and if the charge finishes, then you keep it fully. Otherwise, if you only get about halfway, then you keep that half of the nail art. So if you have NMG, which makes the nail arts charge faster, it's super common to have nail arts fully charged during C-dashes.
Okay.
Which I think is a minor glitch, just because of how easy it is to do accidentally, but NMG is so rarely used in
Yes.
movement sections that it's not really a problem.
Not really
And
threatening
then a very
anyone.
clean QGA there as well.
Oh yes.
And Blossom doing pause storage here. I was talking to them about it, and it's going to be on screen for a while here. It's just used for dreamers. so it'll be used on Hera and then later on Lurian, and it just saves a little time, but it's, you know, you see it up here all this time and you're thinking, is this some big play? But no, it comes in later.
So we'll just have to wait.
Yeah. And you might notice they're falling super fast there, and we'll see it as well in 2 rooms time. That is transition storage, so what it does is it just uncapture fall speed, and on these later patches of the game you don't have to keep your inventory open the entire time, so it just looks like you're randomly falling extremely quickly for no reason. And just taking it a little safe here, because you fall that quickly, it's very easy to end up in spikes otherwise.
Makes sense. Yeah, this is... Wow. TAG has always been wild to me. It's a category to
Yeah,
go
it's
in.
super crazy how far it's come from when it was run on 1028 down to when main menu storage was first found, and then with all of the developments that have been made, and it's down to well under 10 minutes now, with the full no-clip Dreamer Dupe route.
Oh.
And going up to our second Dreamer now. A slightly easier beast end than Glonky had in her innocent run for some reason.
Yes, it seems that there's a slightly higher amount of gear available to Blossom here. I'm not sure why though. Must have
just slightly.
Gone around the map very quickly before getting here.
Yeah. It's because Glonky wasn't getting the full dev-intended equipment, whereas Blossom was playing the game how it's meant to be played and getting all of the upgrades before your fight to HK.
Blossom is a casual.
Yeah, you know, the all glitches true ending run is just more in line with what Team Cherry intended than the normal any percent run.
That makes sense.
Right, and that quit out there on the Dreamer was the point of that pause storage. It's just slightly faster because on these later patches, the Dreamer cutscene that is unskippable, so you lose an extra 12.5 seconds that you wouldn't on older patches. So that just avoids some of that.
Makes sense.
Some very rapid turnarounds there for the quick stag.
Yes.
And now we're on our way to Lurian. Just gonna make a quick visit to the Gravekeeper there for the essence.
Popular in the glitched community, it seems.
Yeah, I think that Gravedigger probably thought that he was completely safe, like he was never going to have speedrun relevance, and then Ghostbusters and all glitches came around, and
suddenly one of
pretty
the most
rapid succession actually. They're both about.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm not going to say a year old because I'm pretty sure my perception of time is off, but an amount of time.
Sure.
Between 4 and 0 years.
Yeah.
And as we can see, Blossom got pause storage again. They're actually very good at that. Like, it's not a free trick by any regards.
Just
they got it first try both times. True. As much as Blossom isn't a speedrunner in their own words, they're very quick at the game for some reason.
Yes. They aren't a speedrunner, but they do tend to move around the game with exceptional velocity.
Yeah. And
no
quickly
physics
changing
nerds are
our
allowed
charms.
to take that from me.
Just adding on a overcharm for Soul Eater.
Oh, and they were C-dashing that whole time?
Yeah. So with bench storage, you can change charms during actions and stuff.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's really cool. And obviously, it's fast because you don't have to be sitting in a bench. and then just a transition storage there.
That was
And getting out of bounds, that was making use of bench storage. So it was something called a bench out of bounds, which has a
yes.
funny acronym that we use, but is very powerful just because it gives you a form of out of bounds on these later patches.
Oh, nice blessings.
And we're going to see a pretty cool trick coming up. This was a huge time save in during the All Glitches, where we used to have to fight the Watcher Knights, so we would do it with like Fury and Great Slashes and stuff, and it was really janky. Whereas now we make use of Team Cherry's greatest rival, Elevators.
Oh,
They've
yes.
tried about 10 times to patch them out. And this
can't.
patch is actually one of those attempts, but they just made it harder.
Of
But Blossom
course.
does get it there, because they are in fact a gamer. But we're just gonna leave.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
The ultimate elevator was that chandelier, you know? It was just a rope.
You know, if you're having trouble with Watcher Knights, just jump through the ceiling. It really is that easy.
Omni, you're fantastic.
Hey, Team Cherry hates them. See how this gamer skipped Watcher Knights with one simple trick. And then we're gonna see poor storage again on Lurian. And
Easy does it.
off we go.
Off we go.
Alright, and normally for true ending we would have to collect Void Heart, but we start with
No.
it because of the
Gotham.
God Home MMS. So that was the initial discovery that made All Glitches way faster on
Yeah,
for
I
true
was gonna
ending.
say, I can't imagine pre 1.4 the differences.
Yeah, so when it was first found, because we didn't have, you know, the full no clip and all that, it was faster on 1028 still for any percent, which is no longer the case. But true ending, we were like, wait, this skip's getting Void Heart. It's good. And so that's sort of why the true ending version has so much popularity. And the 1028 way of getting Void Heart is still very fast because you just go into Birthplace straight to Void Heart, ignoring Light Fragments, but you can't really argue with spawning in with it.
No.
And we're going to see a very fast THK fight here.
Yes. I love that full soul meter.
It's so cute.
It's truly adorable. Intended THK.
Self-stab already. And then the random self-stab, and you should be getting close to screen. The self-stabs are actually really bad in this category, just because it reduces all incoming damage to 1. And for a fight that's so fast, 2 or 3 seconds of 1 damage is like years in terms of how optimized the category is. And we're going to make another use of bench storage here, just switching our charms to be more optimal for Radiance.
Makes sense.
Yeah, just pull the bench out of your pocket, change your charms, and off you go. Time to go kill God. The big reason that we switch charms is just because spells are so much stronger against Radiance than they are THK. Just because THK, we can easily be up in face of the entire time, quick slashing away. And Radiance, it's also a lot easier to just get hit and oof, ouch my bones when you're using a nail
Specifically the bones.
Yeah, you know. The bones, they just skip right past the skin and oof, ouch my bones. And again, those really good looking spells on full display. In the VS, we haven't
full
seen
shout
too
out
many
to
of
Nick,
those.
also a very talented emote artist, as both Nate and I can attest. We have benefited from their talents, but
And
yes.
then we've got the climb, so we're just coming up to the end here. And Underplat, woo. Shout outs to
Woo.
Lucas. And yeah, GG.
And all that and just about a dozen minutes. See, you too can beat the game Hollow Knight by Team Cherry with very few issues at all.
When in doubt, do major glitches.
I'm learning quickly.
Yeah, it's a really cool category. And can absolutely see why this is so many people's entry to glitch runs. Like so many people, Schy included, I believe, this was their first real foray into glitches, and then they really stuck with it. Like it got them hooked, and they actually had world record at one point.
Wow.
And I think
wouldn't
that was
surprise
with
me.
this route, because I think it was around the 10 or 11 minute mark.
Yeah. I think you're good too. So at the end of this run, Blossom has decided not to do an interview, which is something we absolutely respect because this is obviously a very emotional event for everybody, but they did provide me with 2 images that they wanted me to share with all of you in regards to their friendship with Schy, which was undoubtedly a very close friendship, but also one of the most beautiful friendships that this community had the privilege of enjoying. And so these are 2 pictures of them playing randomizer together, doing Path of Pain together. And Blossom told me that they felt this set of images really well exemplified their friendship with Schy and Shy's friendship with them. And the ways in which they together grew not only as speedrunners but as human beings, the ways in which they had a friendship that maybe from the outside looking in to an internet community people might not have conceived, but we're so thankful for Blossom and Shy's friendship because without it I don't think that many of us would be where we are today, not just because of one of them, not just because of the 2 of them together, but also because of the ways in which we all know they built each other up. And so I'm really grateful. I'm really grateful for Blossom. And I'm really grateful for Schy, but I also just want to say I've always looked up to Blossom greatly, and I am so grateful that they had this friendship because I think it shows what friendship really can be on a lot of levels.
Yeah.
Even across a lot of worlds.
Yeah, I'm super glad Blossom was able to do these runs today. And just I can imagine how hard it was for them.
Yeah.
You know, they were super close. I don't think that can really be understated. And I think, you know, Blossom especially and Gwonky and really the whole event just sort of shows how big an impact they had on so many people.
And I just think that people like Blossom and like Gwonky and others who were so deeply impacted by this loss, they also carry with them every day. They carry Shy's kind spirit and beautiful heart and vivacity and a desire to make everybody's day better. And so, while I can't necessarily imagine what it's like for them to carry those weights, I'm thankful that they are sharing what they have learned with all of us and that they are carrying on that legacy in a way that we can all aspire to do as well.
Yeah, and I think, you know, sort of now and even in the past and, of course, continuing in the future, Shy's legacy and the impact he's had on so many of us is really pronounced.
Yeah.
And, you know, they really pushed so many people to do things that they never really would have believed themselves capable of, I
Oh,
think.
absolutely.
You know, Schy being Path of Pain being the sort of quintessential example, but I know even in people's personal lives, the support that they gave was just huge and just helped people be themselves and the truest reflection of themselves. And yeah, I think everyone's gonna miss that.
So too. And I'm really grateful to Blossom for letting us display these images. Because they really are representative of the way they touch not just one friend, but quite literally hundreds of people. So, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for letting me do this as well. I'm just
Of course.
honored to be
And
able
we're
to
honored to have you.
do something for them.
I think that's what we all wanted.
Yeah.
So. Okay. We're going to take a bit of a break. And when we come back, we're going to do an all skills run by Collie, commentated by Violet and myself. But also, we'll take a little break. Everybody can have some time to process before we go video game again. Because I think it's important to acknowledge that, yes, we are a video game community, but I think that this loss showed us that we're also a lot more. So, thank you guys. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Thank you, as always, for bearing with us through the break. We are here to go back to patch 1221 to watch the lovely Kali take on an all skills run. Joining me on the mic now is the ever wonderful Violet.
Hello.
Oh, also, briefly, I see Sierra in the chat. And I just want to once again send all of my thanks to them for making these fabulous layouts. This has been such a well-presented event, and really, it is pretty much all thanks to people behind the scenes. Sierra made these beautiful layouts, both the one for the Path of Pain route showcase and this individual one, and then a different one for the Path of Pain relay at the end. So just massive thanks to them. They did this out of the kindness of their own heart. And so they deserve all your love and support. But yes, so we're gonna watch some awesome all skills, which is sort of my roots as a commentator. I don't know what your familiarity is with the category, Violet, but I'd love to hear about it.
Yeah, I've run a bit of All Skills 1432 plus.
Mhm.
I have like I think 7th or 8th in that category.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Pretty
Um, I s-
awesome.
yeah, it's all right. Yeah, like I've spent a bit of time with that. It's not one of my favorite categories. These days I tend to prefer the longer full completion
Yeah,
stuff, but
107, 112.
yeah, it's still a very good category, in my opinion, and the 1221 version is honestly more interesting, and if I had a computer that could run it, I would absolutely spend a bit of time on it because it's a really interesting route.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Interestingly, so I remember the day I first commentated. I believe I've actually commentated for Kali before on 1221 all skills actually.
Hmm.
But my first ever commentary was I believe it was on February 21st, and I studied. I like wrote notes of the entire route and figured it out exactly. Um, and all this stuff. And I think it may have been current patch. I don't know. But I have a very, very good understanding of all skills 1221 from 2020. Now, when it comes to all skills 1221 with modern strats, I am kind of less familiar. But
Yeah. I'm not really that familiar with some of the more recent 1221 developments,
yeah,
but, like, I keep my eye on stuff. I was around when, like, people were going for the 48, and, like, I watched some runs, and I hope I can provide some insight on some stuff.
yeah,
We'll see.
because I was not around TM, so
Yeah,
I will
that's fair.
appreciate whatever you can provide. But either
Yeah.
way, Kali has been a wonderful runner and a pillar of this community for a very long time. They were one of the first friendly faces I met, especially as I started commentating, and I was just like a nervous little ball of nervousness. And so
Yeah, I know the feel.
I think that it's really wonderful to have them showcasing this category, which I do truly think is a great category as well. So looks like we're getting our countdown in soon. But yeah, no. I mean, the All Skills tournament for me was my big introduction to the community, and
Mm.
it was a real treat. I There are some great clips. That was where myself and my debate partner, one of my closest friends, Virgil, did a lot of commentary. It's where my grandmother would react via text to my commentary, not understanding the game, but desperate to indicate that she had watched the whole thing. And
Uh,
it led to great clips like Virgil saying, "I hope Chomps dies," and Chomps died. It was that sort of vibe.
mm,
So,
yeah, the comms curse,
oh
classic.
yeah, and the knock knock jokes. So Slorent provided us with a list of 26 knock knock jokes that we used at both the door to King's Pass and the door to the Abyss. So that whenever a player took a long time opening a door, we could fill that by telling a knock knock joke.
Of
And they were
course.
usually pretty bad. And sometimes we didn't even get them ourselves. and Slorent had to explain them in chat. Um, but it was really wonderful, and I just remember the accepting nature of the community, who was willing to accept me as the type of nerd who knows a lot about how to play the game well, but only plays it okay. And
Mm,
I was really appreciative of that. And Schy was definitely a part of that community, and so it is an
yeah,
honor for me to return and do commentary like this.
yeah. I personally, I've had a decent amount of comms experience with other games in the past. I have done some stuff for Magic the Gathering tournaments, which was
Very
my
nice.
first thing, really my first gaming love. And then I was in the Hades speedrun community for a while,
Oh,
and then did some stuff for that as well before coming into Hollow Knight. And I've done like a little bit of comms here. I also did 107 for a marathon, which was cool.
is
And
everything
that
okay
was
on
fun.
Kelly's side?
I think audio's not
Oh,
working.
audio.
Yeah,
That
but
was
yeah, like I really enjoy doing commentary.
yeah.
It's such a fun experience, especially as someone who like I have a lot of I can know things without actually being able to execute on them.
Oh yeah, that's definitely me as well, and that's been me since I was a child. And I have a great deal of experience with debate and public speaking, and so I'm really used to the sort of interactivity that comes with the commentary, and it's something I enjoy. So it's nice because nobody's giving you a score at the end.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I to be honest, it's something that's like been on my mind on and off for a while. Because back when I was just a small child, I ended up being a sports nerd. Um,
um,
and like sportscasting was one of those things that like my parents just didn't keep regularly remind me that I wanted to be into when I was like 8. And like just getting to share knowledge and like point out things that other people are doing that is really interesting is something that really appeals to me. Like getting to show off all of the intricate details in something.
oh, most certainly. Yeah, I definitely I think that's why I grew to really enjoy impromptu speaking. For that same reason, it's just being able to inform people about very random stuff. And I think it's why I enjoy commentary. Also, I see the comment back 2 months ago when Violet was a small child, and I'll have you know that we are the same age, Violet and I.
Yeah, we
Um,
are both d- not any more children, but basically.
yeah, we're both newly minted adults, but we probably at least once a month give most of the community an existential scare when we say things like, "Oh, Pokemon Crystal? That came out before I was born." That sort of deal.
Yeah, it's great.
It's our responsibility. It's our civic duty, quite frankly.
Yeah, like we're basically obligated to.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're gonna see KP again, so Jinky arrive.
Yo. Uh,
It looks like we have successfully given them a scare.
yeah. Did you know Shrek is older than both of us?
Is it?
Yeah, it's like 2001.
Wow. Oh, that's way older than us.
Yeah,
Shrek can drink, huh? Wild.
yeah.
No. I mean, come on now.
Yeah.
It's okay. When kids start saying they grew up playing Gen 6 games, that's when I get scared. Then I'm gonna lose it.
I am gonna be honest, I have never played a Pokemon. Uh,
Interesting.
we just didn't have the Nintendo stuff
Yeah.
growing up. So yeah, I mean, I grew up on an Xbox 360 playing sports games.
See, I didn't have an Xbox 360. I had a Wii,
I
and we'd
had
play
we had a
Mario
Wii for
Kart.
like a year and a half, and then we
No,
got to
I got
360,
a
and the Wii
PS.
disappeared. It's probably somewhere in our house still. I have no idea. But
Yeah.
yeah, like I didn't really get into video games until I was like 15.
I was
Um,
pretty into Pokemon and like Minecraft. Basically, I like to joke that I had the interests of like a 10-year-old boy until I was like 14,
mm,
which sad that those interests are gendered, but whatever. And
yeah.
then I got a laptop and I started playing some like weird Final Fantasy gacha, and then I started getting Breath of the Wild was my first middle of the road video game, and then Hollow Knight was my first like hard video game.
Yeah,
So
I think
I have all these stories about how bad I was at this game when I started it.
yeah, same. My video games experience, I think like I first started when I was even smaller than I am now. I
Wow.
was only really able to play sports games. And like at 14 or so, I got on the internet for myself.
Yeah.
And started playing like some narrative stuff. Like Life is Strange was my
Okay.
first
Yeah.
real video game experience, and I still remember it very fondly.
Yeah. No,
Um,
for
eh,
me, like I went I went away to school and then I was able to go on the internet freely, but I didn't really play video games
yeah,
until probably 10th grade.
yeah. Even then, for me, I like spent a lot more time watching games than playing them myself. And then, like after a year or so, I was more in a place to actually buy things.
Yeah, that
And
makes
then,
sense.
like, I think as far as like games I played was Transistor by Supergiant was absolutely like the first really big one. And then from there I went to Hades, and then that's when I became a speedrunner, and it's haunted me ever since.
Well, there you go. You can never escape it.
There is no escape.
I suppose not. But yeah,
And
it
yeah,
looks like, speaking of escape, that, well,
we're
Holly's
getting out of
actually
King's
gonna
Pass.
get into King's Pass, which is good.
Yeah. I don't have a knock knock joke. I'm sorry, chat.
It's okay.
Okay, chat saying Collie's a little loud. We
Yeah, I'm
will.
sure we'll get right on it.
Yeah.
Oat has let us know that she's stepping away briefly to make breakfast, which is very,
Totally
very
fair.
in line. I also want to remind everybody here that it is currently 6 a.m. for Oat.
Yeah.
She has taken on the most degen of degen shifts from 4 to 7 a.m. So
Wild.
please,
Yeah.
please give her all your love and respect. She is so deserving. Thanks, Oat. So, yeah, unfortunate on the Gruzzer drop for Kali. That's
2
just some
hits
pretty
is
rough
pain.
RNG. You never want to deal with 2 hits, but you know, onwards and upwards. It's just the start of the run, and there's lots to do out in here, so.
Getting
Just a double
last
spike,
bit
which
at
is
least.
unfortunate, but gets 1.
Yeah.
Single spike is something that we definitely take, so.
Yeah, for sure. I think the like 2 times I've tried 1-2-2-1, I tried to get Aspid the
Yeah,
spikes,
I've heard it's much
and
harder.
I just it went very poorly.
Yeah.
That Gome Room is
also bullying
unfortunate.
Kali a little bit, which I mean, honestly, you have to think it's probably tough for them,
Yeah.
in general, figuring out, like, that weird start was definitely disorienting and just figuring everything out.
Yeah,
I'm sure
the
once
restart is
they get
very
their sea
rough
legs under
mentally,
them,
and like I imagine there's still some amount of nerves just from doing this showcase.
Yeah, no, and a lot of the runners previously have expressed feeling nervous or just losing time due to nerves, and I mean it makes sense.
Yeah, it's totally fair. I would absolutely do the same.
Yeah, and it was something we saw pretty much every race in the All Skills tournament anyway, so There's
Yeah.
really no harm in taking it slow, especially on the VS split.
Yeah. I was around too late for the All Skills tournament. I've heard many stories though.
Yeah, it was really great. I distinctly one of my favorite memories from the All Skills tournament was like staking out a classroom in our math building on a Saturday or a Sunday, which I think was a Sunday, to watch Axe versus Monsta in the tournament.
That
And
sounds
it
like
was like
such a good
me,
match.
Virgil, and Bubba, who's another one of my mods, and it was the closest I had done to being at a real, like, it was like the most sporting event I went to, despite the fact I went to a number of sporting events in high school. It was just such an intense watch. So that's the thing, is I think that like I think it does go to show that like this community brings bonds that are so much stronger than just like the love of a game, as we've brought up a little bit before, but like
Yeah, for sure.
especially real life bonds. I don't think that I would be so close with my current, well, not anymore since I've graduated, but my debate partner and dear friend Virgil, if it weren't for this. And similarly with Bubba, who actually got me into the game in the first place. And
Yeah,
so
I've definitely
very
made some
thankful
close
for that.
connections beyond even just the game.
Yeah. There you go, Kali, rolling up to the VS. Should
Yep.
be, yeah, exactly. We believe in Kali. They'll get
Yeah.
everything sorted
They
out.
they
on
got
the road.
this.
Yeah, they totally do.
That VS only taking like half a second to actually pick up, as opposed to me taking like 2 seconds, because I
yeah.
am playing this game on a laptop that does at least have a graphics card, but it's not a very good one.
Oh, okay, because I was gonna say, please don't say it's a Mac, because
It's not a Mac, no, it's a PC.
yeah,
Yeah,
I tried to my Hollow Knight initial experience was on the Switch, and then my second experience was on a Mac. So,
oh no.
and then I got a PC, but only after I explained to my family that no, a gaming PC runs things other than video games.
Yeah,
Which was a tough explainer.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
Baldur being relatively nice, that was a second spit, I believe.
Yeah. Okay, well, Pimpas, I had the cheapest possible Mac that was already 3 years old at the time, and it didn't work very well. So, yeah, here we go. So Kali's gonna head up into the Gruz room, get their soul, and then only need 1 fireball for the Baldur, because haha, funny 1221. But there are a number of fireball skips that can be gone for here, so depending on how everything shakes out, hopefully they'll be able to get set up for that first fireball skip as well. Only the second one, the second one's the most important, the first one's the least important, so we'll just... but looks very set up for it.
Yeah, for those of you who are around for the Any% showcase, the start of this run is very similar.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to go from getting Vengeful Spirit to picking up Mothwing Cloak to getting Claw, and then heading over to
the All Skills Moss Knights. Oh,
yes.
Unfortunate. Probably missed a turnaround.
Yeah. I have more trouble with that skip than the others, but also that's because I don't run on 1221 where you like always get to go for that skip. Because on later patches, you do have to actually do that Baldur normally.
Yeah, LB runners that I've talked to about it have stated that they just feel out of practice with that skip. And it's not that they couldn't do it, it's just like you only get to do it a certain amount of the time. So
yeah, it only really shows up a very small percentage of the time, so
yeah.
Like you need 2 Baldur skips in a row. Second fireball skip, I guess.
Really nice.
Going very well though, which you love to see because that is the biggest one to get.
And Kali looking good in terms of setup for Soul on the 3rd, so we'll see.
Yeah, gonna need.
Oh, the 1221 Soul Totem.
Yeah, I always forget that Soul Totem's there. Getting
Very
there with
nice
a 3
3
fireball,
fireball,
which we do take.
Yeah, we absolutely do. so
Yeah.
able
On-
to proceed.
On current patches, the soul totem isn't there, which makes soul rougher, and also the
Yep.
turnaround, the jump is different. They moved the platform so that you like have to
I
get
do not
coyote
understand
frames.
Team Cherry at all.
They moved the platform so it's harder to get that fireball skip for like
Right.
no real reason. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah,
But oh well. Yeah.
um,
Nice
we
thing
did
is
end up getting it, so
Yes.
that's always great.
no VFK here, but preparation for the Moss Knights, which have good and bad spawn positions. So we'll see which one Kali gets.
Yep.
These are known even in rando communities as like the all skills Moss Knights or the all skills rocks, because they are such a quintessential part of the all skills run that most other categories don't really touch. So probably taking a good deal of damage and unfortunately didn't get
Yeah.
the good spawn.
Bit awkward with the Moss Knight not jumping back, but
Yeah.
we make it through all right.
Yeah,
And then
gets
head on
their
to Hornet.
Geo and on to Hornet, exactly. So it seems like Kali is playing with greater smoothness. I hope that going into this fight on 2 HP is not a huge curse.
Yeah. It shouldn't be the worst. And like
No.
there is time in this fight to heal if you really need it.
Yeah, absolutely. And Hornet's a boss where pretty much anybody who runs any category, unless you run a super short category like Foremas or something, or you're really into low percent and nothing else, everybody under the sun does a lot of Hornet. So there's a great deal of understanding when it comes to that fight and spacing and gaps. So yeah, exactly.
hitless
Perfectly,
fight.
perfectly
Great.
nice fight. Just over a 9-minute cloak for Kali. Very nice as well.
You
So,
like to see it. Yeah.
we'll head out.
With the all skills rocks, for those who don't know, this route ends up buying dash slash very early in the run, is right after getting shaman stone, which means we
Yeah.
do need a lot of geo here. You'll see a few other, I believe we pick up the fungal waste rocks before Epogo as well. I don't remember exactly how 1-2-1's routing works.
So it's become sort of, I think I know at the time of the tournament it was a thing, but part of me thinks that at a point it was either dropped or said that you could skip them. I feel like you can skip them if you have a certain amount of incidental geo or something of that manner. But most of the time, yeah. So there will be 2 rocks in fungal that Kali will probably get.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
don't
that 800
know the
number-
geo routing here because it's very different for 1-2-2-1 compared to 1.5.
Actually so glad that you mentioned the words geo-routing because now all of my knowledge on the geo-routing of this run has come back to me in full force, and so I'm pretty decent to discuss
That's
it.
good, because I have like so many different geo routes in my head because of like messing around with routing in 107, 112.
Oh,
and
it makes sense.
yeah, remembering stuff for the categories like this is sometimes difficult. Yeah.
Always gotta say hi to Cloth. I'll never forget during the All Skills tournament, one of the runners' computer just froze in front of Cloth, and so I thought that they were like really taking their time to say hi to Cloth, but no, they actually just their computer just froze.
That's yeah.
Yeah. But no, so Kali at 298 Geo, so the main Geo source here is Gorgeous Husk, which is obviously 420. And so, yeah. So with that and Incidental Geo, they'll be just perfect to 800. So I think that, oh, that's an unfortunate.
Yeah, just a bit low for Epogo, but it's alright. Really easy to back up on this patch.
Exactly. You just try again.
Yeah.
LP runner's wish, but yeah, it's different. If you decide to go and get, I think if you get significantly more incidental geo in city, it can cover for things, but otherwise no. So yeah, Kali doing the early control here.
Early control, but the Mantis?
The Mantis is kind of bully. Okay.
We got there in the end.
So quits out from Claw. And we'll now go to
Gruzmother, and then to Salubra to pick up Shaman Stone, doing
Mhm.
the Shade Skip as an any percent, though we will not get Dream Nail yet because
Yeah.
we don't need it,
Exactly.
and we can pick it up later when we have better
Yeah, we'll pick
movement.
up Dream Nail falling down from peaks after we get Deedar, which is about the halfway point of the run.
Yeah, getting Dream Nail definitely marks we are fully into mid game by now.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is just a pretty simple. This is very, very similar to what we saw in the any percent showcase. In that we're going to Salubra. Well, yeah, we're going to Crossroads Stack. We're going to Salubra then.
Yeah, we don't actually get Crossroads Stag here.
Oh, is it different?
I'm pretty sure, yeah, we
Yeah,
skip
you're right. No,
Crossroads
we
Stag
don't get
here because we
Crossroads
just
Stag.
go from Dirtmouth to Peak. I think it was,
right.
yeah, it was timed relatively recently, I believe, by Green, a runner. That even if you got like bench fly kink for the Geo, it's just not actually worth it compared to just doing this because of how tight the Geo is.
I forget if that was decided and I'm having a brain fart, or if it was just a different vibe back then. But yes, that makes some sense. And so yeah, no, they've never gotten across. So Shaman to Salubra to Yay.
Yeah, bit of a rude cleanup here, but
Yeah, that was
we make it through all right.
So yeah, grabbing this right here. Wait. Yeah, because they don't lem cell before dash slash, right?
No, we don't do a lem cell at all here. Yeah.
She has. Oh,
and
right, yeah.
This category also gets to skip Schy. In
Schy has
1432 plus, you do need to save Schy because we do need to buy the Elegant Key. But because of the way 1221 works, we get to lever skip to Shade Soul instead, and we just don't need Lantern at all for this run.
Lantern's not a skill, so get ready for what is quintessentially called all skills Dark Nest. And
Kali getting the wall clink storage, but dashing the other way. There we go. You love to see it. HK slide.
So nice wall clink across Blue Lake here, and once again, as Violet said, skipping Dream Nail for now. We can easily get it later, and heading down to City, where we're going to go on a little money laundering stint. And oh right, hoppers. That's why hoppers. Okay.
Yeah.
This is just now. The pieces have clicked into place. So we're gonna go. We're gonna kill Gorgeous Husk. Eat the rich. Hope that Jeff Bezos doesn't lag our stream for that.
We should be safe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I forgot the hoppers were like actually a really important part of the geo routing here, and
that's what I also forgot, and then just something clicked. It was like I went into the Veil and then came back and came out with one hopper.
Yeah,
holding
like
it by its tiny little legs.
It's very like I have mixed feelings on it because like on the one hand it feels weird, but on the other hand the hoppers are just very good geo-wise.
No, they really are. The hoppers are just straight up bang for your buck.
Yeah.
Yeah. So between this and hoppers, we get to 800 geo. But.
And like that's just because of the really tight geo restrictions on this category, with needing to get a full 1,000 geo very early in the run to do the things you want to do.
That's the thing, is if there were other options to somehow either, get Great Slash, which is also applicable for most lever skips, or something else more easily, like it would be a looser category. And it's the same thing in like on current patch all skills, since you aren't getting dash slash in like the quarter mark of the run, like the routing is quite the geo
Yes.
routing is quite different.
Yeah.
But here it is pretty much ironclad that you need to go get scammed as soon as possible, because you really can't do things in city until you are scammed by Nailmaster Aura.
Yeah. Or rather, you can. Like, you could theoretically do the current patch route to dive. It's just so much worse than doing
And it's
this.
just like, at that point, why are you on 1221? Like,
Yeah, like the whole point of this patch is the lever skips.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's what really sets this category apart, is the lever skips that you do, and like
Yeah.
the way the nail arts really change the routing.
Because obviously in any percent you have your classic fire skip, but this goes so much further by really incorporating, and that I think the thing that has always made me love all skills and that has always made me commentate all skills so willingly is because it's such a beautiful run to me in that you use every skill that you get at some point in the run, even ones that you wouldn't think are particularly useful. Even for tiny optimizations like with Cyclone Great Slash.
Yeah.
There's
Cyclone drops, my beloved.
Yeah, they're really cool.
Yeah.
So,
Kali getting through the hoppers, picking up so much geo. They drop so much geo.
yeah, it is.
Great
it is
Slash.
insane.
Great Slash is used like once or twice, I believe, to
Yeah,
break
it's
walls.
just the drops, but it's.
And then
yeah.
Cyclone is for the drops. Yeah.
I feel like maybe they don't do Great Slash dropping from somewhere anymore. I know I've seen it. Yeah, elevators as well sometimes, but
Yeah, there's
the point is that
some stuff.
they even put Great Slash to use, and also you get Great Slash really late in the run, comparatively.
Yeah, Great Slash is less valuable here, as opposed to like if you were doing glitch nonsense where you use it to stop momentum downwards in no clip, but that's not relevant.
Yeah.
But yeah, like we do make use of basically everything here.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now we are going to head over through city, do the first of a few lever skips into Sanctum.
So we're gonna head up here, and we are sort of going to use Water Spire as a hub bench for a significant portion of the run. This was true in Save Mila especially as well, and that's because City is essentially our focal point for a great deal of the run, but we need to sort of go out in different directions based on what particularly we are doing. So we'll hold this bench for a while until we get our way out of the city-centered stuff that we need.
And then this, truly the darkest of dark rooms.
Yeah. You don't know dark rooms until it is pitch black, and only the faith of your nail hits can guide you.
Yeah, I still don't really know that room, but also I like haven't had reason to yet. But one day I'll be able to run 1221, and I will spend 15 seconds in that room and feel like a dingus.
And I mean, I feel like that's part of the downpatched experience, if nothing else.
Yeah, it really is. Switching between patches is weird either way.
Yeah, so here comes Sanctum, which is, despite the fact that you get to lever skip a great part of it, especially Hell Room, still quite the bully in this category. I have seen numerous runs get crushed under the thumb of Sanctum from the tournament. But the nice thing is, we just get to go and run and get Shade Soul right now, for free. No Norman to deal with, no nothing.
Yeah.
Which is really nice.
Yeah. It's very nice how this Sanctum looks, especially because of how Sanctum works on 1221, where the Soul Twisters can just spawn right inside of you.
Yeah.
It's great game design. But yeah, we get to skip this first room, and then we skip the last room, which is very nice. We will fight another Soul Warrior here, but this Soul Warrior is
But Norman 2's a joke.
a bit of a pushover.
Yeah, especially, I mean, watch this with our Shade Soul.
Yeah.
We just sort of booped him a few times, and he is lunch meat. So
Yeah.
that's all we
The
really
the
need to
freeze
say.
frames after he dies is kind of as much as the fight itself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but no,
and
there go the Soul Twisters.
doing their thing.
Their heads are so big, and all they can do is bump into you. So you really wonder what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's the lever skip that 1-2-2 runners. I like that. 1-2-2 runners tend to rub in our faces, but you know what? Hellroom builds character.
Hellroom builds character. Hellroom
Not actually.
Hellroom is honestly not that bad for me anymore, but I've also just gone through it thousands of times at this point. So I'm like,
Yeah.
once you learn it, there's definitely been some optimization for like
Oh my
doing
gosh,
it better.
I remember commentating for a runner who had the Sanctum Tom Sob on 1221 because he had done 1,000 Sanctum ILs.
Oh
and I was just
god.
like, oh my god.
Yeah, that is more work than I put in.
It was real impressive, don't get me wrong, but nonetheless.
Yeah. Just like also sounds very painful.
It's just like you could also play any other part of the game, and you choose to do this 1,000 times. So yeah, so Soul Master, not a big deal once you have a giant Shade Soul to lob at him.
Yeah. I don't think we're gonna quite get the quick kill here.
Yeah. It's
Which
really
is
tough.
fair because it's rough and also like really bad on health.
Oh.
Um,
Yeah, nice.
well, like if you end up getting hit, it's very like damage
No,
tanking
no,
there.
I forgot that you meant like the quick kill, like even before the
The-
cycle, which is
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, you do like pogos on the wall
Yeah.
and then get 2 Shade Souls in, which is wild to me.
Mhm.
Like that's
it's
been labbed as well
terrifying.
for current patch all skills, and like it's been done by a couple
Mm-hmm.
runners, and it's like I cannot imagine.
Yeah.
Absolutely spooky. But yeah,
Oh, for
we
sure.
get dive, and now we are going to head out of Sanctum, which is very comfortable for this category because we
Most certainly.
just get to do this
Oh yeah.
instead of going all the way around and dealing with a lot of follies. I love just the like tiny dash slash optimizations that runners have found for this category, like using them on like certain elevators. It's fun. I like seeing dash slash like get used.
Yeah. It is really great. You just never see it.
Yeah, because like
Very bad.
generally the most valuable nail art is Cyclone because of the ability to uncap your fall speed with it, and also because it's really good at collecting lots of soul. So in most categories that would pick it up, like you usually don't have nail upgrades for a while, so it only matters in like very late game. But
Yeah.
dash slash here gets to show off an extra use. Collie getting that grub as well, you really do love to see it. We are going to kill a few more city enemies here because we do need a bit more geo to be able to afford King Station.
Yeah. This is sort of the hidden monster when it comes to the geo routing. In that sometimes if you go really fast, especially through different rooms, it can occasionally behoove you to not play as well or to be a little panicky in parts of Sanctum, because it just makes your geo so much cushier. But I have
Yeah.
seen issues with King Station Stag being afforded before that can be tough. So
Yeah. And now you see Collie has benched Inspire there. That bench we will keep until Dream Nail, which
for
make
a
Crystal Peak
long
a
time.
bit spooky because
Yes.
if you die in Peak, it's going to be a
Probably.
long walk back, and it's usually a reset for most people.
Besides a Dark Nest death, it's probably one of the worst, or a Green Path death. It's probably one of the worst deaths
Yeah.
you can have. And it's just really, really frustrating as a death because of how it kind of is, besides darkness, which is something that anybody who regularly runs all skills has very solid practice with. It's kind of the last time that you stray so far from a bench that things
Yeah.
are irrecoverable. And that walk back can just feel super, super frustrating. So hopefully
Things
Kali doesn't run
should
into
go
any sort
well.
of trouble.
Right, we don't have Crossroads tag here. I forgot immediately after mentioning it beforehand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully they get this early control, which is a really cool one. Yeah. Where you charge the nail art, but because you only have dash slash, when you release it, it doesn't actually do a nail art. Because you can't do a dash slash out of the well because you don't get control yet. But you can still charge the nail art so that when you release the button because you can't use the nail art, it just gives you control back.
Yeah. It has become it was a very trendy deal way back when, and it's just yet another way that E1221 runners Jesus Christ. I've been talking for what, 6.5 hours? Y'all
Yeah.
cut me a little slack.
It's great. Don't worry. You have
1, 2, 2, 1,
been doing this like I can't imagine talking this long, and I know I love to hear myself talk.
It's okay. I went upstairs to see my family briefly, and my mom was like, "Are you drinking enough water?" And I was like, "I'm drinking." And I just thought to myself, "No, probably not enough."
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. This event started at 2 a.m. my time. And
Are you on Central?
I'm on Central, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And I got enough sleep and then very much almost didn't wake up for this regardless.
Oh, believe me, I was so scared. So I decided that the most efficient way to do this is something inspired by when I would fly back to boarding school. Specifically one time is just convince your body that you're only taking a nap and that the day is continuing. So I slept for, well, my goal was to sleep for 2 to 3 hours, and then I probably slept between 1 and 1.5. But I was terrified that my alarm would not go off and I would just miss the
Yeah,
alarm.
I ended up getting away with not like needing the alarm. I don't know. I just like woke up at 6:30 somehow. I legit don't know how
I feel
because
like
I'm
my
usually
fear
not up
would've
till
woken me
10.
up, but
Yeah. Or like I think I was like I went to bed at like midnight and then I think I woke up briefly at like 4:30. Yeah, and then from there it was like kind of in like a half sleep daze for a couple hours. Oh
that
no,
was
underflat.
so unfortunate.
So close.
That's
That's
just-
that's really rough because it's also 2
when
HP.
Phoenix does that, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just such a dunk, but Kali's got this.
Yeah, we have a decent amount of soul here to recover anyways if you
yeah, exactly.
go
Plus
for it,
the
which
cooldown.
makes sense to do.
All good. So yeah.
But yeah, they got this.
Yeah. Fuck, did I misgender them? Yeah, they do. Yeah. In the end, though, the real tragedy Galaxy would be death. So Kali's killing it. They are just gaming the hell out of this race. But
Yeah.
yeah,
This is good.
No, I was like just so terrified that I set an alarm for 1 minute after the current time to make sure it would go off, even though I also had an alarm set on another device.
Yeah, I had alarm set on 2 different devices as well, and I ended up being up slightly before both of them, which was weird. Or actually, I think my alarm was supposed to go off, and then I just didn't see it go off. I don't know. I need to figure that out.
Let's go.
All
Kali's
skills
taking the
grow.
job,
You'll
like
love to
everyone.
see it.
doing the correct tasks. Yeah, and then here's the peak dark room. I
Very
love working
simple.
with C-dash. I've never learned it with dash, but
I finally learned it with Dash a few months ago after promising myself that I would only do the C-Dash version. But honestly, the dashes feel so smooth once you learn them. It's
I've heard good
unbelievably
things.
comfortable. Yeah, and now is Crystallized Mound, the last like potential scary part of
Yeah, and
this part of the run.
unfortunately, it can get really scary really fast. I'm optimistic for Kali, but I also look at that 3 HP and I can just
We
imagine
should be good
things
though.
going wrong,
Yeah.
but they're totally
We don't have to save the grub here, so it's much
Yeah.
more comfortable than in 1XX, which is where I'm used to this
This
area.
one.
And then getting the dash/early control, which
Mhm.
is amazing. I love this early control.
That is one of my favorite tricks in this run. It just
Yeah.
looks so cool.
Shoutouts to the Monster clip.
Yeah. Oh, is that the one on 1 HP?
The one on 1 HP where he just
Oh my gosh,
pauses
it's
for
so
like
funny.
5 seconds. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's, I mean, it's like, yeah, storing the momentum being an MG is like, or like storing the movement being an MG is kind of weird.
But let's not question it. Let's just let it happen.
Yeah, it's cool, so we allow it. That's kind of what NMG is, right? Like it's
Yeah.
it's arbitrary.
the
It's
rule of
built on
cool.
what people want to be able to do in their runs.
Yeah,
But it's
exactly.
great. Yeah. Anyways, we are now in Dreamplats, which we get C-Dash for now, which is cool. Because there's a bit of movement you can skip with C-Dash. Also, doing a dive
wow,
here. Oh,
The dive. No,
yeah.
that was the new thing. The new thing was for a different deal.
I'm
Oh,
not
no.
saying major glitches aren't cool. Glitched runs are great. I've done them. It's just like, it's
No. Major glitches are cool, but the thing is, this is just at this point to me, it's an iconic part of the all skills run on 1221.
yeah.
And so, okay,
It's-
Kali gets that under flat, which is
Yeah.
real nice. Yeah, the dive is slightly faster from what I'm aware.
Yeah, I remember it being mentioned as like 0.2 faster.
Wait, too. Yeah, Serp confirms. Serp
You
of
love to
course,
see it.
is the absolute queen of knowing the tiny time saves.
Yeah, I know the knowledge of a lot of these small things, but I don't end up using a lot of them because that takes effort and practice and learning, and I am an impatient child.
Local speedrunner, in parentheses, child, resistance to effort.
I blame the ADHD.
Oh, me too.
Yeah. Anyways, we are quitting back out from Dreammail to Spire Bench. We don't have to do Seer Skip here. We just leave.
And
Which
so
is
now we get to
great.
have the first part of this run where you're reminded that, like, yeah, you do beat the game. That's after so many times watching different meme runs, it is sometimes hard for me to remember that main board categories beat the game.
Yeah, we do actually get an ending here, which
Yeah.
like
I
a
don't know.
little
I don't know
cringe,
how I feel
but
about that.
it's okay. It's
I just think
understandable.
we could do
We all
better.
make mistakes sometimes.
Yeah. So we'll ask Kali to apologize for this after the run. Really, I just think that they're in the middle of
can't
this
be
event
spoiling
and they're trying to
this.
have an ending. Like that seems
Yeah,
really selfish.
we've got more stuff to do here. Like, yeah, you can't spoil the game for other people. What is this? But yeah, Watcher Knight's kind of a pushover when you have D-Dark,
Yeah.
especially with the way you can just
2 and
bam
3
D-Darks
for
on this
D-Darks.
patch.
Yeah, and
They
then
die to
those
like 2 D-Darks and a Shade
background-
Soul with a bit of nail damage as well.
The ability to background Dreamnail the Watcher Knight's is also super helpful.
Yeah, these patterns are a little rough, but
Yeah, they're not exactly like
so much
the
bouncing.
most fun.
But we're gonna manage.
Yep, exactly. Yep. Straight through it. And now, after we get Lurian, we get to go into my personal favorite part of the run, which is the Isma skip section.
Yeah, Isma
down into
skips
Basin.
are very cool because they're like they're rough. I'm ignoring chat at this moment.
Yeah.
They're very
Papa Isma's-
like very easy to mess up, and they look super intimidating from the outside.
Yeah.
But like they're very like lenient in a way.
Yeah. No, they certainly are. I mean,
The spike tunnel is definitely the roughest
The
part.
spike tunnel is definitely the roughest one, but in my opinion, so this is where I get on my soapbox and start talking about acid skips because it's like the one kind of skip that I can do and I really like them. In my opinion, like in terms of difficulty, it goes like Crossroads, which is the easiest, you know. Then Isma skips, then Fog Canyon Sharp Notch, then QGA, then ACN or
Yeah,
KP acid skip.
I agree with that. I
Yeah.
think
And I
generally.
think that these acid skips, because the Crossroads skip is like, it just teaches you the practice of how to cling to a wall and go across acid. Like, it doesn't really teach you the formal dash down and go into your actual, like, I almost want to say your stance, which is used as really used. Like, you have to assume the regulation posture for the first Isma skips. And so I think that it is like a really great intro. And part of the reason why sometimes people will recommend this as an intro category, I think it's probably a bit of a tough intro category, and I would recommend memes instead. But
Yeah, there are definitely
I
some meme
think that, like,
categories that are easier, but
the
I do
Isma
think
skips
that
teach the concepts of acid skips well.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, Kali getting this bench for safety just in case his skips go horribly wrong, since otherwise we would be back at Lurian, and that's just time loss. Ideal, I have full faith in Kali to be able to get these first try, but
They're very practiced, so
yeah, marathon save strats and all. Yeah.
So yeah. The spike tunnel itself, like Violet has said, is probably the scariest of all of these. But on 1221. Wait, is it harder or easier on
It's
1221?
harder on 1221. I think they
Yeah.
changed the spike hitboxes for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know why this
Second
works.
try is super admirable.
Yeah.
And probably just breezes through. And the issue with the spike tunnel is you don't really have a source of soul. But here,
Yeah.
as
Here
we saw,
you can get the Whormps. There's a blood sack up top you can dream nail if you need it.
Infinite soul. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And Kali getting the other skips first try.
Gonna try to get
Absolutely
that early
gaming.
group, but it's not looking great.
I think this should be fine.
Oh yeah, never mind.
Yeah, no. Doing the up slash there is usually consistent.
Yeah.
In my experience. It's sometimes a little weird, but yeah.
Yeah.
That other Whormp a bit rude with the C dash, but we got out of it.
Yeah.
And yeah. This is definitely the one thing you would practice
My
if you're
favorite,
doing this
my
in a
favorite
showcase
fun
setting.
trick is that if you get out of there fast enough, you get to keep the green trail until you bench.
Yeah.
Which is really fun. So
Yeah.
intentionally took off Isma's tier in rando. Yeah, I'm also an anti-Isma's tier user. Especially in swim rando. I'm anti-swim as well because there are just so many fun skips you can do.
That's fair.
So yeah.
Yeah. And now we enter Basin, which we will visit twice here. This will be the shorter visit, but it's good. Getting wings is this split is annoying because of Malark RNG,
Yeah, the
but
Malark are brutal.
it feels very good to do well.
Yeah, if you can pull this split off, if you can get through correctly, it feels really awesome and it looks really cool. But if you mess up, you can get kind of thrown around, which is very tough.
Yeah. But hopefully this goes well.
Yeah. And the other thing is, like, since you have Broken Vessel at the end, which is not difficult on its own, a lot of times what I've seen happen is people, they'll get kind of banged up in the Malark trail and then die to BV either out of nerves from not doing so well in the Malark part or out of taking a lot of damage. And so because this last Malark, for example, this last Malark is basically Soul Totem. Like, you could get as much soul as you want, but obviously it's very slow to do so. So
yeah,
Kali
there are safety strats there. Kali getting through with one hit, which is great.
Nice trans dash.
Trans dash.
Rights. That's another great thing about all skills. You say trans rights in every run, so.
It's true.
Yep, so here comes BV slashing those light seeds to get the boss to spawn in faster.
Yeah, and then we will be getting the Shade Souls to start, which I find very amusing.
Yeah.
Yep. And then from here, it's just D-Dark Simulator.
Yep, really nice. Unless you get tripped up at the beginning, EV is just a pushover.
Yep.
Already. Super,
Already
super
gone.
easy.
But yeah. The fact that you can Shade Soul that early in this patch is very
Oh yeah.
funny to
hilarious.
me.
No, I've always found it funny as well. And just the way it looks too, where you just
Yeah.
push the boss halfway across the stage during its scream animation.
Yeah.
What a special snowflake.
Yeah. And now we're gonna quit back out to the basin bench and head back to Crossroads. This is wait, no, we get Kingsbrand here first, don't we? Yeah, 1221 does Hornet 2 earlier. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they do Kingsbrand now, and then we go get Cyclone, and then we
Yeah.
do the Monomantra. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It-
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember this route as well because
It's really weird. Like I remember this route entirely by association. Like the reason I know that we go to Monomon afterwards is because in the Monomon split, that's when I would always like explain Cyclone drops, you know? Like
Yeah.
because the tournament was broadcast on Speed Gaming, we had a much more casual audience.
Right.
So commentary back then was a lot more of like explaining the run and providing analysis on the race to a degree than it was like straight analysis of or like detailed introduction of
Yeah.
strats and outcomes, you know.
Yeah, that makes sense. I do like appreciate getting to see that kind of event, but I do also prefer doing it within like already being in the speed community
Yeah,
and then
and
getting to like skip
I'm
the
glad
very
that-
basic knowledge.
I'm glad that we have our own community channel because I think that like first of all, like folks do find us. I mean, our
Yeah.
channel's named Hollow Knight Community. It's not like it's secret what we are. And
Yeah.
secondly, like I think that there is like an art to getting to commentate speed games for a audience of runners.
Yeah.
In a way that
Like it's different with just not going over like the basics of the game like in a marathon setting and also the in jokes and
right.
stuff.
Yeah, it's a lot easier. So
Yeah. Colleen not taking the safety bench for Hornet 2, which is
Yeah.
a lot of confidence on their part. But I believe
yeah. I mean, and on the other hand though, at 5 health, they don't have it truly is just a safety bench.
Yeah.
It's not a heal. And so
Yeah, like Hornet 2 is known for being a bit of a bully if
Yeah.
things go badly, but I imagine this is also something that they've practiced a ton to feel
Yeah.
comfortable on it.
And I would say that considering that I have known and seen Kali run this category since the All Skills tournament and before, and they've pretty much just continued to work at it, I would be surprised if they didn't feel really confident about this fight. Because that's the thing, in the same way that if you do any percent, you just end up practicing Watchers all the time, if you do All Skills, you're just gonna end up practicing Hornet 2 all the time.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I know the feeling with like practicing bosses. And yeah,
that
fight
was
goes well.
a really, really clean fight. So, little hops. I love that.
Yeah. Unfortunately, this patch doesn't let you Dreamnail Hornet after she dies. Apparently, that's a thing they added in. That you can Dreamnail Hornet 2 for Soul after you beat her.
When
Which
I'm
is...
a game developer, I really think you should get to read the thoughts of the corpse. Like, yeah, that was me when I made my patch, you know? Like,
yeah. It's very strange.
yeah, here's our dash.
Nail alert, urban control. Yeah.
No, I didn't know that either. That is truly funny.
Yeah. It was discovered like a few months back, and it's very silly, but it makes things much nicer for a couple categories that
for sure.
Dreamgate out of here, and then want that soul for Abyss.
Yes, we're gonna head back.
I
and
think that
now-
early control was late enough to not be a major glitch. I have no idea how the rules work for that on this patch.
I actually.
I didn't really pay the most attention to it either,
I thought-
anyways. So I think it was
Yeah.
fine.
But I
But-
thought, is it if I thought the rule is if your HUD is completely invisible, it's a major glitch.
I have no idea.
Nah,
Okay.
HUD is fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. No HUD is fine.
Yeah, I'm not familiar.
Yeah.
It's been a while. I remember once that somebody got if the knight is invisible. Okay, so it's not the HUD,
Yeah.
it's the knight. I remember once
Yeah.
that
You
somebody
you can't
did
go
have a
before
movement
it like
during
Hornet
run.
leaves and the knight starts moving.
Yeah.
So the character you
Okay.
can't get invisible. Yeah.
So invisible HUD okay, invisible knight not okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. And then the HUD reappears whenever you open inventory or bench, I
Right.
believe.
Yeah, that makes sense. So now we're doing the cyclone split, which is like the chillest split in the run.
Yeah, this split's very comfortable.
You just see
Doing
that
the
a lot.
movement back from King's Brand is very fun to me, and then doing this reverse King's Pass is like the dashes don't quite line up as well as you'd like. Oh, C dash glitch, rude.
Oh, you hate that.
But yeah,
You intentionally went invisible knight? That is
did
hilarious.
invisible Umu.
That
Yeah.
is hilarious.
Yeah, you can barely see the knight move in the cutscene. That's true on current patch as well, even though you can't actually do control with it. Believe me, we have tried. No one.
Kuroshi
Kuro.
informed me that no one has ever died in this split. I'm starting to get the idea that Kuroshi 94 has quite possibly died in this split.
Yeah, that would be on
How
brand.
did that happen?
You can mess up King's Press bad enough.
Wow. I have a lot to unpack.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, to be fair, Kuro is known for running 1432 plus all skills, where you
Oh,
do
yeah.
this. You do Cyclone Slash right after getting Dream Nail.
Oh, wait. Oh, that makes so much more sense. Okay.
Yeah, so you still don't have hell.
Okay, because to me, it was the thought of
Yeah, dying here in
Kurt
1221 would be quite a thing, but
yeah, I was just thinking to myself, how do you take 5 damage using the fast?
Yeah.
yeah.
it could be after it's after peak, so it can very easily go wrong. Gruzzer drop being nicer this time, you do love to see it. And now we're gonna just head over to Monomon. And then from there through Queen's Gardens to Hera, and then we're basically done after a quick trip to the Abyss.
Yeah. Perfect.
I still have no idea how to do this drop properly, and after like a year of doing runs.
Trinomi drop?
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't explain it either. I don't know how to do it, and I couldn't tell you. So.
Yeah. I just do whatever nonsense, and
You just get through the room. Isn't that what it's
Yeah.
all about, you know?
yeah, basically. Which is funny because I do it in Flower Quest with a down dash cyclone mixed in there.
Oh wow. That's talent.
It's pretty safe. I've done it thousands of times in practice because when you do strats like that in your Flower Quest, you know to practice it properly.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
But yeah. Kali into Umu. Hopefully we get the one cycle here. If our favorite jellyfish is kind to us.
We'll have to see.
Not known for being a benevolent soul. Too slow attack, unfortunately. But it looks like we are getting an extra, so. Oh, missing one nail hit off of Umu moving
tough.
weirdly, which is pretty rough.
Yeah, you hate to see it.
The Kali. Yeah, they got this.
No,
It's-
they've
it's
got it in the
fine.
bag.
Yeah.
Yeah, just fine.
Yep.
Okay, nice.
And
Nothing
we're
to
good.
worry about. Nothing to worry about. Come on now, people.
Yeah, imagine being worried about this.
Mhm.
Couldn't be us.
No, absolutely not. We don't worry.
Yeah.
Here on twitch.tv/Hollow Knight community, there is no worry.
I have never been worried about anything in my life.
No. Me neither. So there's Monomon. We are now 2 for 3 on the Dreamers, and we are going to go on a long hike through all of Deep Nest to get to the third.
Yeah. Good old Queen's Gardens, everybody's favorite area.
Indeed.
It's very pretty, it's just also very annoying.
Yeah, certainly.
Now we get to do the Archives climb, which is a ton of fun. Another high point of this run, because most other categories either don't have wings or Dreamgate out of here,
Yeah.
or just skip Umu entirely, which is really the better option, to be honest.
Yeah.
Imagine
when I was
completing the
Doing
game.
this journey, there was a huge like left side, right side archives
Yeah.
debate. I don't know if that's still standing.
I think it's been confirmed that going right side, like going from starting right side and then going to left side is the best way to do it. But I don't know the math on that stuff because
Yeah.
I don't run categories that have to climb out of here anymore.
Well, that's very pleasant. I'm happy for you.
Yeah, it's great. But now we're gonna head up and get Great Slash, which is
Woohoo.
gonna be one last trip into Green Path. This one is a bit out of the way compared
Yeah,
to
it is.
everything else, which is a little annoying, but I do really love the movement in this.
Yeah, this is widely regarded as a favorite section of many runners when it comes
Yeah.
to all skills, just because the movement is so cool.
Yeah, shoutouts to that airwalk dash, giving you
Yeah.
an extra dash, which is still legal, in part because it's been grandfathered in. Also,
Yeah.
shout out to those infection blobs having gravity.
Right. Like
They-
what?
It's very strange, but like it makes sense, but it also feels like it shouldn't make sense because video games.
Oh yeah. Making
But yeah.
sense is far beyond us at this point.
Yeah, you've seen Hollow Knight. Is making sense is not the goal here.
No.
But yeah, we're gonna head into the Green Path of Pain, as it's colloquially known.
Oh yes. One of my favorite Hollow Knight colloquialisms.
Yeah, a bit awkward on that C-dash, but able to
Yeah.
recover it fine. Yeah, and we're good. Gonna get to
Right
talk to
through.
Shio.
Very nice. Oh.
Oof. Yeah,
Unfortunate.
that jump is very rough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do not go for it these days because ow.
Yeah, exactly.
He's painting. It's great.
Oh yeah. Shoutouts to one of our favorite gays.
Indeed.
Violet, do you mind solo calming for just a little bit? I think I'm gonna step away.
Yep.
And use the restroom real quick.
Okay, that's fine.
I will be back in shortly.
Yep. Okay, well, you're stuck with just me for now. Yeah. Of course, now we head over here, do this C-dash. Not gonna try and see if we can make it through the jelly. Unfortunate. But yeah, to go into rates, I have made the mistake of doing all skills runs when I was derusting the category a little the last time I did it, and forgetting that I can't go this route on 1432 plus because you don't have the lever skip here. So you have to go from QGA route and go up. And it was like, why did I gold Howling Wraiths by 20 seconds? And then I realized. But of course here we get to just take top route and then head down into Gardens. Going through the Squid Arena. It's really interesting how early they expected you to find this, as someone who has heard so many stories about people just not finding it for forever. But yeah, this is our last spell. The arena was very clean, yeah. I mean, it's not a terribly difficult arena. The main thing is just being able to keep your soul going, especially in this category where you do it from a quit out. But still good to see. Cycloning the wall here. I wish those cyclones still work the way they do on this patch. You go through here before Claw, but you aren't able to get to rates until getting Claw. So you're supposed to like notice it and then come back. Oh yeah, it's definitely okay, that's fair. It is easy to mess up and like start snowballing, but like if you feel able to do it, then like once you how do I word this? It does snowball pretty badly. I've done it myself, don't worry. But it's also like not that difficult as far as arenas go. Getting the Petra Arena and then doing the damage warp, you love to see it. That Great Slash hitting twice is very silly. Still. Always has been, always will be. And thankfully, this isn't any percent where we have to do 2 more damage tanks without a bench, so still being on 4 health here is very comfortable. Going into Dark Nest, which yeah, I don't like dark rooms personally. I like being able to have my senses. Like, being able to see things is pretty cool, in my opinion. But these dark rooms are pretty simple. It's only the first one that's really much of a worry because of all the spikes here that can end up sending you back to the top.
Ooh, Dark Nest, I'm back.
Yep. Welcome back.
How are they doing?
They got this. Like,
Okay.
everything's gone cleanly here.
Yeah, I mean, they're killing it.
Yeah.
Perfect, yeah.
And then this room with the spider that can be really annoying sometimes, but it's usually not that bad.
Yeah.
And like here we're able to safely damage tank it because we get to skip through Beast Step.
Yeah. Which is really blessed, honestly.
Yeah. It's one of the reasons I prefer this run to any percent.
Yeah.
Because we get to just hop up here and do that. And
That's all.
we don't have to take the trap bench. Very nice.
Nice cyclone for the door, and then, yeah, all we
Yeah.
just need to do
I
is-
wish those cyclones still work that way. They don't
Yeah.
on 1.5.
That really is lamentable.
Yeah. You have to like wiggle on them.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
No,
have
I've
to
seen
wiggle
those
the
wiggles.
hitboxes.
Those are tragic.
Yeah. Like, it's just not worth because the hitboxes on the breakable wall, like, well, some breakable walls you can just do cyclones on, but the ones with the planks are awful.
Oh, Kali noting that this is a 2.4 second gold for them.
is huge.
Which, I mean, we will have to admit, in a long split like this, they did play really well. I was
yeah,
fully
like
there for
everything
half of
here
it,
was
but the part
everything
that
here
I
was
saw was
very smooth.
super clean. So that's fantastic.
Like the only thing I saw that went like remotely wrong was the Deep Hunter in the last Dark Room. And
Yeah.
like even that was great. Okay,
Yeah.
killing this Devout. There's some nonsense that was found recently with doing a dash slash into a D-Dark there that lets you kill it, but it's
It
very
sounds made
rough.
up.
Yeah, I don't want to think about it.
I feel like we should only go for strats that sound real.
Yeah, true. Yeah, there was some nonsense about that and like being able to do stuff with it because you get to Firebell as well.
Oh yeah.
But yeah.
Their major
Major.
glitches would never get done.
Hmm.
But if you can prove that they sound real, even if they're major glitches, then you're
Yeah.
really justified, you know?
For example, Walkling storage. I'm
Well, hey, let's not get political in here.
fair. To 5 seconds before I get pulled off stage. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Oat is gonna forcibly disconnect you.
I'm a 112 runner. It already has reason to.
Yeah, that's fair. Here's the second door. This is where we would do another knock-knock joke if we had one.
Yeah.
But now
Unfortunately, Slorent is not here.
Yeah.
But yeah, now we're gonna drop into the abyss. Oh, ow.
Oh, that is tragic.
Yeah. Especially because of the next bit of this.
Oh, again.
Oh, not again.
Yeah, coming into Lighthouse Climb,
With
this is real
this
tough.
HP is not great.
Yeah.
That is fair, Oat. I am not giving 112 propaganda, though. I am a 107 runner now. Or back to being a 107 runner, because Got Home takes forever, and I don't want to spend time on it.
Formed light. Oh, that was tough.
Oof,
Yeah, and
was
that's the thing.
rough.
This is the thing about sibling climb, on all skills, especially 1, 2, 2, 1, just generally, because you're going for those inventory drops on the way down, and you can just
Yeah.
do an oopsie. It really steamrolls you.
It goes wrong so easily, and
Yeah, and once
like,
it goes wrong, it's just really hard to save.
Yeah.
Which makes it real tough. But hopefully second time will be a charm here.
Yep. Nice. First one good.
Alright.
Second one good.
Nice, nice. Yeah, this should go hopefully a little better on 5 health.
Or don't you have to do that overcharmed in 106 nowadays? I don't remember. I know that like some stuff around Kingsbrand is absolutely cursed in how much you'd have to do overcharmed. Okay, I think Collie's gonna get their shade on the way back, so they don't have to like stop in sibling climb, which makes sense.
Which makes sense, and yeah, really pleased sibling climb on that second time around, so no issues.
Yep. Oh, it's been rounded out. Well, that's good, because overcharmed sibling climb is absolutely
Yeah.
cursed.
No, that's awful. Nobody should have to deal with that.
Yep. Getting through, getting our shade back.
That is the last skill.
Not quite. We do have
Wait.
Abyss Shriek.
Oh, Abyss Shriek. I forget that we get that on the way out.
Yeah.
Shade Field Guard save. Yeah. God. How did they put 2 skills in Abyss? It's like there's like a skill.
What
for
kind of
every other
rando seed
room.
is this?
I know.
Didn't even put it at the lever, SMH.
Yeah, come on.
Getting the early control, you love to see it.
Nice.
Skill issue.
Ooh, vile words
Dang.
have been lashed. Ew.
But yeah, this split is incredibly chill.
Yeah, it's like you just go, you get the shriek.
Yeah.
Then you do Abyss Climb, and that's it.
Yeah, Abyss Climb, also a high point of this run for sure,
Yeah,
because
definitely
it's slightly different from the
beloved.
Void Hurt climb, which some other categories do, and it's also something that most people, or like most categories, don't do because either you have Dream Gate or you just don't go down here.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, to quote May, around Abyss Climb ILs, it is truly beloved by some members of the community.
Yeah, I personally don't see the appeal. Apologies to May, but I can't do 30-second categories. I'm not a Celeste runner who wants to do this kind of movement to this level, but
Yeah, nor am I, but it is certainly a treat to
it's
watch.
very, very cool to watch people do like ILs like this.
Yeah. Especially, the thing I enjoy about Abyss Climb, especially in like the large scale formats, like the All Skills tournament, was to see runners of different ability levels do the climb differently.
Yeah.
And the strats that people would go, even within the tournament, because there were 5 Swiss rounds,
Right.
that people would go for harder strats as they became more practiced through the tournament itself.
Oh,
Which
yeah.
was
Seeing that
always
development is very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I personally have spent time learning Abyss Climb, but I've also forgotten it since then, and I do not intend to relearn it until it like
Excellent.
actually matters for me, which I don't know that will happen very soon.
Yeah.
Maybe if I go for like a 54 in current patch all skills, but like even then it doesn't. It's
All right. I
probably
mean,
fine.
surely there are time saves other than however much you have in Abyss Climb, you know? Like,
Yeah, it's fine. I can just keep winging it, and it'll be great.
yeah.
De-rest all skills. That I feel like I'm more pushed to de-rest any percent first, and I don't think I want to do that right now, anyways.
That's harsh.
I mean, there's the tournament. I
Yeah,
I
no,
might
no.
be
Like, it's
convinced.
fair, but.
Yeah.
Alright, so yeah, this is the grand finale.
Yeah. This THA fight is one of the most interesting, I think. This THA fight is really weird because you have Abyss Shriek and you have like all of your spells, but you're also still on pretty low health. Or like your equipment is still good, but it can be still a bit tricky to use it effectively, especially Shriek with THK sometimes,
Yeah.
because they just don't behave. Though this is 1-2-2-1, so it should go relatively smoothly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, 1-4-3-2 plus has a rougher time.
Yeah, this THK is kind of weird paper.
Yeah,
And I mean,
you're gonna
what
see a
ended
lot
up
of Abyss
making
Shriek
it be
here.
kind of a disgrace. It wasn't easy, so.
Yeah. Already out of screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, I'll never forget the time that I signed up to commentate a race last minute because I needed somebody. It was an all-skills tournament race. And I was packing to leave for school, and one of the runners decided to run Path of Pain percent all skills. Which, like, what? And the other one decided to just get Nail 3 and Sharp Shadow. And the most random, it was like over 2.5 hours for each of them. It was,
Oh my god.
It was the worst commentary experience I've ever had.
Because you just had no idea what was going on?
Well, because I expected it to take an hour.
Oh yeah, that too.
And I was packing. But
Yeah.
also huge GG's to Kali. I don't want to take away from that.
GG's.
And nice
Yeah,
on the sub-hour.
You love to see it. Sub-hour marathon.
Yeah, Rhino knows where this is going. That was like the first time I like publicly addressed the community in any way, because I was like, guys, can we not do this?
Yeah,
Like,
no,
ever?
that's not the thing you should be doing to commentators.
Yeah. But yeah, but it is okay because people were very, very accepting, and then we did not do it like ever.
Yeah.
So yeah, not run outlandish things in a tournament without telling runners. Hi, Kali, GG.
Hey, colleague.
It was certainly a run.
Well, yeah,
It
you
was
got
good.
under the hour, you know?
Yeah,
That's
it's.
pretty nice.
I have not played all skills since 5-year, so
Oh, wow.
there was a lot of de-resting to be done. So that was actually my first sub hour since starting de-rest.
Oh, well, congratulations on that.
Yo. Nice.
So 2 golds were nice and also unexpected.
Oh, what was your other gold? Other than
I
Hera?
golded Hera and I also golded Wings by 2
Oh.
seconds.
Nice.
And
Yeah,
I
that
golded-
one
Those are
was
two
very
solid
clean.
splits, too.
I golded Hera by 2.7 seconds like last night, and then
Oh,
another
wow.
2.4 tonight. So I
You're
don't
just
know
digging
what's
into
happening.
that split, huh?
I was gonna stop running after this, but now I have second thoughts.
This is how they get you.
Yep,
True.
exactly. They hook you
It's the
in.
trap you fall into.
Yeah.
The only thing I really cared about in this run was Photoshop jump, which I got. And the reason for that is that the first time I got that in a run was in 5-year when I was in call with Schy, and like I just figured it out warming up for that race. And
where's
Schy
the
had
jump
taught
at?
it to me. That's the jump going towards King Station. It's the
Oh,
jump.
yeah.
It's that really tight jump
Yeah,
up to that
it's
top
such a cool
platform.
jump.
Yeah.
But yeah, Schy was like super excited and super proud of me when I got that in warm up and then in a run. So like that was the single most important thing to me in this run.
Well, I'm so happy that you got it, and it was fantastic to watch you.
Yeah.
I really, really respect the dedication you've had to this category. Because I remember commentating several of your races back in 2020. So, well, 2021, I guess. But it's so awesome to see you still show such skill and ability in this category.
Thanks. It was my first category, my first submitted category, my first actual category. I ran Path of Pain before I did anything else at all
Oh, wow.
speedrun related. So it was my first like submitted full game category. But yeah, I actually met Schy when I was starting all skills. So probably about a year and a half ago. They just like regularly came into my chat and like cheered me on and were like, one of these days I'm gonna bop you, and then they did. And then I got that PB when I was practicing for 5-year, and they were just as excited and supportive as they always have been.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's just a great example of how wonderful they were to all the new runners in the community, especially, and all the people who maybe weren't so sure about speedrunning and everything it had to offer.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, that, for me as well, I think that was where I really felt their impact in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And especially, like, commentating this race specifically, you know, since this was really how I got my start in the community, it really meant a lot to me. And it really reminded me of those times where, you know, even when I did my first Kron, which is like an hour and a half category if you're practiced, and it took me almost 6 hours, like how they were there to be like, oh my gosh, Herm, that's so cool that you did the first half of Path of Pain, which you've never done before, like that they were there to just be supportive and not care that like the timer said 5:45, you know?
Right.
I just think that they were like that for so many people, and I'm really grateful.
Yeah, I agree.
I didn't have that much experience interacting with Schy. To be honest, I've like kind of been a bit like I've stayed out of the community a bit. I've only recently really started interacting with people more. But I do have a distinct memory of leading up to HK5Y because they did the final segment for the 107 relay of them asking about the NKG fight because they weren't sure on that. And I recorded like some 15-minute video talking about my process for doing that fight. And their response was great. And that like I felt very weird about doing that video because it was like at that point I was still already a top runner, but I still didn't feel confident in my like knowledge, because that's just how it goes sometimes. But like it really helped to see how much they felt helped by it, and that was great.
Yeah. One of my other pretty early memories of Schy was when I was running Path of Pain myself. Like, I'm not using optimal strats or anything. Like, I'm not even using Sharp Shadow. I have like, at the time, I had like a 5-minute Path of Pain, and it's like 3 minutes or something now. But they were always excited for it. And like one time they came in like right after they had gotten, I think the first time they'd gotten Reki and Path of Pain, and they were like just as humble, and they were like, wow, that room's better than I did. It's like there's no way that's actually true. I'm like, the world record holder for Path of Pain is telling me this, and they were like,
Yeah.
what? Where's the world record holder? I don't see them anywhere. it was so funny to me. It
Oh
was
my
so
gosh.
cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Kali.
Thank you for letting me run in this. It really
Of
was very
course.
important to me.
And thank you, Violet, for your lovely commentary.
Yeah.
Yes.
Always a pleasure. So, we're gonna roll over to a press for some glitched runs, and try to make up a little bit of time because we're behind schedule by about half an hour, but we'll do what we can.
Thanks
Overall,
to you,
yeah.
Herm, for setting this all up. This has been great, and like I am very grateful to be able to be even a small part of it.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
thank you,
yes,
everybody.
we'll be
And
back.
thanks, Oat, for restream.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Oh, we love you, Oat.
Okay.
And we will be back after a short break.
Yep.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back from our brief break. We're here to present to you with the final 2 glitched runs of our showcase, which will be Great Hopper % and NKG % all glitches. I think Great Hopper % is first, but
I believe so too. Having talked with AP yesterday, they talked about how slightly simpler God Home main menu storage run would be before having NKG, which is a little bit more technical.
Makes sense, yeah. So, not that I super understand the runs, but that's why we have the lovely and very, very educated on glitches Genkar to help us out, answer my likely many questions.
Yeah.
We see some really cool glitches on display.
Yeah, we're going to have a lot going on in very quick succession. For those of you that were here earlier during the Mala % all glitches run, this is basically 2 runs that are going to follow pretty much the same format, which is escape, got home, do objective. And that is pretty much it. And so we're going to... Sorry?
I like both of those things. Escape, got home, do objective. I can get behind that.
Oh, chat is saying I'm slightly too loud. I can change my level, or you can change it on Discord. Okay.
Yay!
Yay!
Okay.
But yeah, so Great Hopper % is basically goal killer Great Hopper, because everybody dislikes those impossible to hit jumping things that jump in your face until you are squished. And NKG % rushes to kill Nightmare King Grim in a very fast manner. Yeah, I think we're good to start the run if everything's ready.
Looks like AP is being counted down at this moment, so
Perfect.
We should be seeing things soon. So this first one, Great Hopper, is just a God Home MMS into complete objective, right? You said, Jen?
Yep. There's not much to it. We're gonna go to the Great Hopper and kill it. So it sounds really simple, but there's a lot of very small technicalities. We're gonna see the God Home main menu storage, which is going to allow AP to start with everything, and that gives a lot of little options for runners to actually equip stuff that is very good for movement or good for killing the Great Hopper. And so there's a lot of tiny details that give the run its interesting status. So here we see AP starting Good Home Safe File to set us up. Unlike Mila % all glitches, this is actually done without main menu storage. The reason AP is doing that is that they want to be sent to the bench. They want to sit on the bench to gain 2 things. They're going to get bench storage because they're going to exit the bench abnormally. And they're also going to get no clip because for some reason when you start on a bench, the game gives you no clip for a few moments. And again, they're going to use the main menu storage that they're getting right now to exit that bench really quickly. And so yeah, here we see they briefly load into God Home. They hit a hard save in the God Home save file that puts you automatically on the bench. And then they get sent to KP immediately. Hopefully they did it early enough that they got no clip. We're going to see that in a few moments. They're also charging up a Great Flash here to be able to gain early control and not fall all the way down King's Pass. Seems like everything is good.
Oh, yeah. What a lovely AP using the skin, and as you can see, the Shade Cloak animation is a number of little Shy guys.
they also missed C-dash spot. So C-dash can be very finicky. You need to be relatively close to the ground to actually be able to do the C-dash. So unfortunately, they're gonna not be there. And they're going to go a bit farther than usual because they had to equip charms during that C-dash. They go into the well transition. A very important charm here is Dash Master that allows them to dash downwards. It's a very important charm with no clip. And they were able to equip charms during this section because they have bench storage. The game still thinks they're on a bench. Here, if they're going to kill enemies, there's two reasons for that. First, the first reason is that they don't have invulnerability, so those enemies could actually hit them. But the main important reason is that they're going to be collecting soul to be able to kill the Great Hopper fast later on. Unfortunately, getting hit by the Crawlid, I believe that's just a slight mistiming. Are they going to be able to get the C-dash here? Nope. Unfortunate. The C-dashes are... they do, but dashing here is very slow. And they want to be changing the charms from the charms they had equipped that were movement charms to get charms that actually increase damage output and allow them to
really set up the arsenal to kill that Great Hopper.
Exactly. And another beautiful C-dash. They always go slightly farther, down dash, and then pinks back up into the transition. And now they're going to go to Kingston's Edge through a way that is a bit different than what you would do on your starting run.
Oh, are we
They're going to go
Adam?
towards Colo. Yeah, we're going to kill Adam.
Oh, nice. I'm so glad we could see Adam die. That's awesome. Oh, I didn't know it'd be this much of a treat. Okay, nice.
And there we go. As you can see, the Great Hopper is dead in 3 minutes 39.
The timer just pops up. That's cool.
And we're just going to double check by seeing the little bits of Geo. Yeah, exactly.
Excellent work,
GAP. And yeah, that's all there is to it. So yeah, a lot of little technical things with the charm menuing, with the C-dash spots especially. And yeah, it's a very fun short run.
Okay, so now NKG percent you said is a little bit different, right, Jen?
Yes, so because of Godham main menu storage, AP is going to be able to completely skip having to collect flames because you start off with Grimshard at the max level. However, the Grim Tube isn't there because, well, why would there be? AP is going to have to do to go once into Howling Cliffs to actually light up the lantern. And then go another time into KP. So I believe there's 2 applications of the main menu storage, and go towards Dartmouth and go kill NKG. NKG percent is a few minutes. It's also very short, much shorter than the
categories often are, it seems.
Yes.
So it looks like AP got another countdown, should be starting really soon.
A couple of things that we're going to see is that this time they're going to go for main menu storage right away. So like the other run, they do not need to start off with no clip or bench storage. We have tried to lab out a useful bench storage in the first run, notably to get out of bounds and go to the lantern faster, but it's unlikely that it is faster. So they're going to start up right away. And they managed to get the Great Slash and land on top of KP and immediately get into Howling Cliffs. So here they're going to do something a little weird. AP is actually going to sit on the Matter bench. this is to actually have a bench for later use, and it's also going to be used to equip charms. So right here, they're equipping all the charms that they're going to need, both for movement and for the actual Nightmare-King Grim fight. Well, I really like the Grimchild skin with the like white eyes.
Yeah.
That's kind of nice. And now they're just going.
With Griffs. It's really nice.
And now they're just going to go towards the Nightmare Lantern and going to light it up. I hope we're going to see Wiggles. I know AP is feeling not that confident about them, but they are really fun. Nope, no Wiggles today. Unfortunate. But that's the first half of the run. The lantern has been lit. The Grim Trip is now in Dartmouth. And with it, both Grim and Nightmare King Trip are there. And we're going to do another main menu search to... ooh, that one's taking a little bit. To be able to load back into KP, but with the same save file. And yeah. Like the previous run, they're hoping to get no clip, and I think that looked good. And that no clip...
Instead of the God Home bench for no clip?
Yeah, you need any bench. You don't need any glitches for no clip. The glitch just allows you to keep no clip. Whenever you spawn on a bench, you will have no clip. Like even if you're doing your casual playthrough, it's just that you're not normally able to move. Although you can sometimes do some weird things with wings, notably. Okay, that's a weird animation that they just got.
Yeah.
But yeah, right here, AP is trying to get 2 hits of soul to be able to do 2 fireballs. So right now they have bench charge, and they're going to use that bench charge to be able to get a few things. Right here, they opened the inventory during the transition, giving them transition storage, which they transform with the fireball and the lore tablet into tech storage, which allowed them to cancel their Dreamgate and get invuln. Yep.
So this is the famed Dreamgate invulnerability?
Yeah, exactly. It's the concepts are not too hard. Okay, they were a bit too far down, and they rather preferred going up, which perfectly understandable. But yeah, the concept of Dreamgate invulnerability is you always have invuln where when you're in the middle of your Dreamgate animation, and when you load back in, and you can either interrupt. That's okay. AP is having a lot of trouble actually landing in Dartmouth. You can either interrupt the Dreamgate during the fading out or during the fading in.
Yeah.
Right now. Yep. You were gonna say?
Oh, I was just gonna say, this looks really tough. I mean, is there any sort of queue? Oh, did he get it?
Yeah, he got it. There's not much of a queue. The goal is just to like land the Great Slash on the ground and be able to make the game still think you're grounded. Oh, AP talked to me about this. This is if you do your fireball too late. You do fireball to cancel transition storage, and right now they're going to get an extra Grimchild because they got locked into the animation. So they did the fireball a bit too late, and so were unable to cancel that. I wonder, are they unable to dream now here? Okay, that's good. That's good. But yeah, one important thing to note is that you can't access this part, that part of the Grim Tent normally. You do need no clip to get through. If you try to go to the other side of Grim after he gives you Grimchild, there will be an invisible wall blocking your path. So no clip is required to get through that. And now we're going to see the Grim fight. AB hasn't Invuln, so doesn't really care about getting damaged.
Yeah.
And he's just going to try to get a lot of soul, also a lot of nail hits. The basic idea is to kill Grim during balloons. That's a really good pattern. Yeah, that trick was unfortunate. But yeah, they're just gonna spam a bunch of shrieks here and go for either Great Slash or Slight Tone, depending on how dicey they're feeling. Or Slight Tone. Great Slash is slightly dicier because you have less of a hitbox to get through. It does give you more time to more damage output. Unfortunately, they didn't have enough. Okay, that should have killed.
Oh, were you counting?
They had nearly full soul, and they did 2 extra shrieks, which should be good normally.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay. Just very close.
that was awesome. I mean, wow.
Yeah. And yeah, that's basically the category. There's a little thing you can do here by down dashing and going below the ground while the animation is happening here, but it is very stroboscopic and hard on the eyes, so AB decided not to do it for the event, which is
You guys
understandable.
are a little bit tired, so I will appreciate that.
But yeah.
Let's see if AP wants to come in for an interview. Either way, we'll move along. But yeah, I mean, thank you so much, Jen, for your commentary. I have learned a lot about glitches today. Oh, hi, AP.
problem.
Jeez.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
That run was very scary.
I think that me and I speak for a lot of the other NMG mains in this community. I was really impressed. That was that was super cool.
Thank you.
And yeah, so have you run these categories very long, or are you newer to them?
No, I'm pretty new to glitch categories. I started maybe like a month ago learning Altuba percent AG. And big shout outs to Blossom, who's been teaching me all these different categories and all grubs, all glitches, and then both of the 2 I did today.
Wow.
He's
Thank
been
you,
a
Blossom.
really great teacher for these.
Do you have a favorite between the 2 you ran?
I really like the NKG percent run. There's just a lot of things going on in it that are pretty cool.
That would have to be mine as well. I mean, it was just so cool to see. You know, I think for me, what I really enjoyed about the glitch showcases today is I'd heard all of these words like, oh, like Dreamgate invulnerability, or like Godhome MMS, or and like I had kind of had a rough idea of what they meant, but to actually see them in action and see them explained by fellow glitch runners and performed with such skill was just so cool. And also, we had no soft blocks today, which was awesome.
I came really close in a few places, but I was able to fix it.
I saw that several times.
Yeah.
For chat, no clip movement has a lot of facility for giving you soft locks, especially once you have invuln. I don't know if the hazard respawn that's below the level actually works if you have invulnerability, but it's very easy to mess something up and have no movement option and just be completely stuck in the void and having to reset. So I definitely understand going for safer approaches and going back into transition to get another shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So AP and Jen, unless you folks have anything else to say, I think I'm gonna try and move things along just because we're half an hour behind schedule, but we have made up a bit of time. So I do want to note that for the first time in this event, I will be off the mic. Gonki and Rhino, who are 2 incredibly experienced 1221 runners, are going to be commentating for. I always forget. I think it's Hyper, but every time I want to say High Niner. But they're going to be commentating a lovely 1221 True Ending race. Not race, just a run. Showcase, you know. I'll be back for the Path of Pain relays and the closing, but I want to make sure that y'all give them all the love and support they deserve, because not only that, but they're giving me a break, which is really nice. Secondly, this is the end of Oat's restreaming shift. AP is going to take over the restream from here on out. So please, please, please send all your thanks to Oat. She has done so much and once again handled a lot technically, and we are just so thankful, especially with the very degen shift that she so willingly took on. So thank you so much, Oat. Get some rest. Enjoy the rest of your day, whether that involves watching this or not. And thank you so much, everybody. We'll be back after we switch restreams.